When the East is in the house.
Oh my god.
I said, the bridge is over, the bridge is over.
Linden Boulevard, represent.
Welcome back to Disposable Arts.
Hello there. Hello there.
All right. Back in the house. Episode 7 of Disposable Arts coming at you live. Yes, we are back in the building, back in the studio for the 2017 year-end show. I am your host, MOOD to the fucking Z. I got my man Action Anticon in the house and Jayla Solis. What's going on, brothers? Yeah.
Oh man, it's good to be back.
It has been, and I think we say this every time we record an episode, it's been way too long. We are
you know when you pull out your mic and there's dust covering the mic, it's like it's been a while since you did a show.
Man, we are the most inconsistent hip hop podcast out there. I mean, we do a show like every 3 months, but it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, sometimes schedules just don't line up and stuff, but the fact of the matter is that we're back in the booth doing the show, and we're going to talk about 2017. Yeah. Was it a good year? Was it a bad year? I don't know. I guess we'll get into that, man. But first up, man, what's been going on with you guys since the last episode? Actually, we had quite a bit of decent feedback, even though it didn't get a lot of listens. It's probably because of the inconsistency of the show. The people that did check it out actually said some pretty good things about the last episode, so
that's good.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
man.
It's either that or a lot of the people that started out listening are just like, yeah, this is shit. I'm not going to bother listening anymore.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
But no, I
strong possibility.
I think what it is though, it's consistency. If you if you put out stuff consistent, people will it keeps it fresh in their mind. If you go away for a little bit, they kind of forget, and they might miss it that way too. So,
that's one of the things in life. If you just stick at something, your rate of succeeding is going to be greatly. What the fuck am I trying to say? Basically, if you keep doing something, if you stick at it, you're going to succeed.
You're going to succeed. Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right, man. We had so many shows lined up throughout the year that we didn't get to based on various things, scheduling issues, just things that, life things that always seem to come up and stuff. So there was a lot of albums that we didn't get to review that I wanted to talk about, which, I guess we could probably get into a little bit of those later in the show. Not like full-on reviews, but we'll just end up mentioning those. Maybe in honorable mentions and things like that. But 2017, man, how was the year for you guys this year? Or last year, I should say. I can keep forgetting we're actually in 2018. We're almost a month into 2018, so...
it gave you some time to reflect.
It did.
I thought, musically, I thought it was a pretty damn good year.
I thought 2017 was an odd year. Because I thought the first... I want to say 6 months, maybe the first half of the year was pretty damn slow. In terms of albums and artists that I'm looking to listen to, I thought it was pretty slow. There was a lot of singles and a lot of things happening, but it just didn't seem like there was a lot of albums that were materializing that I wanted to, kind of dig into. And I felt like the second half of the year just like shabam the first half, man. Like these fucking records kept coming out in the, in the last quarter of the year, and I thought the overall year, man, for the albums that I was peeping out and shit was pretty damn solid. It wasn't like one of those years where everybody and their fucking grandmas were dropping records. I mean, for, the artists that I'm into. So it kept it pretty kosher, man. It kept it pretty, sedated. And I like that, man. I like that. And I thought the overall product of 2017 was pretty damn dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that as well. It's like towards the mid-year, things started picking up momentum, and towards the end of the year, it's finished strong as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good overall. Like Mood said, the later part of the year definitely seemed like, at least for me, maybe because I don't know, I just started realizing that a bunch of albums came out during like the last half, even like last 3-4 months of the year, like, I don't know, October, November, December, just album after album were coming out that I either wasn't aware of or just, I don't know, like people that I like, artists that I like that just either, I don't know if these records were like on the back burner, because a lot of them I didn't even know were coming out up until the very end of the year. So yeah, it was a nice surprise, but overall pretty consistent. Like Mood said, we got a couple releases from some bigger artists, and then a bunch of smaller guys peppered in per usual, but overall pretty good though. Like you said, not a lot of I don't know. It's like probably a lot of artists came out, or maybe just for me personally, I was very particular in what I was looking for. So, plus in doing the show, I was, listening to a lot of stuff just for the show. And then on my off time, I was working a lot. Didn't have a lot of time to listen to other stuff. So that's how it was for me.
So how many records do you think that you actually listened to this year? Did you listen to like a fair amount, or just like a little amount, or like what was your output?
I would say I probably listened to a good, like, it wasn't a lot by any means, maybe like 30 at most, 25, 30.
Yeah. What about you, Jay?
Definitely more than that, because a lot of times when I'm working, I'll just have music on. So, I mean, that's an all-day thing. So, I mean, I can listen to quite a bit of music in the run of a day if I want to. But so a lot. I mean, I listen to a lot, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that I didn't check out that I will eventually, and probably that could have made the list.
Yeah, man. I want to say that I also listen to a lot of non-hip-hop records, too. So I listen to a lot more, like, jazz and funk soul records. As opposed to hip records.
Of course.
That's mostly what I've been buying. So just strictly hip hop, I would say like not a lot at all. But the ones that I listened to were all really pretty damn good. So definitely quality over quantity, in my opinion, for this year, at least for me.
I'm kind of in the same boat, Jay. Like, with my job, it allows me to listen to music, pretty much the entire day. Driving around and stuff. I mean, I'm in and out of a truck, but the fact of the matter is the shit's still bumping and stuff. And I would. I'm very conscious about it too, so I would listen to some records, and then, I would go and look for some more, and I put it on the iPod or whatever, and then I would listen to that way. And so I listened to like a shit ton. Like I probably listened to like over 200 different records this year, but that's also including like a bunch of EPs, 5-6 song EPs and shit like that. And I gotta say, man, I found a lot of really cool artists this year, and but I'm a physical media guy, so if you're not like putting out physical media, I kind of tend to. I mean, we've talked about this before. This is what happened to me with I'll use Sean P's Mike Tyson's album as an example. I had gotten a digital copy. I was saying, I illegally downloaded it. But that was just the way of the world. You get you listen to the record before you kind of buy it and shit like that. And for me, myself, I never seem to fully connect with digital records properly. If I'm holding the album and I'm looking at the cover and I'm reading the liner notes and things like that, I can just fully engulf myself into the record. So if the shit's not coming out, if it's not coming out physically, it tends to like, every once in a while, there'll be a record that completely just grabs me, even though it's digital. Maybe because it's not coming out physically. I don't know. But there was a lot of records that just kind of fell through the cracks for me this year based on that level. But on that note, though, I have to say, man, 2017 was astonishing for physical media releases, like all the re-releases on vinyl, and a lot of underground artists and stuff are getting into that game. In the past couple years, a lot of people weren't pressing up even CDs, they were just, everything was going to Bandcamp. It was digital downloads, and that's the way shit was kind of hitting the market and stuff. But if you notice, like, I'd find an artist and I'd go to their Bandcamp and stuff, I'm like, holy fuck, they've got pressed copies. And I noticed that a lot this year with people were pressing up CDs, vinyl, and tapes. Like, everyone's getting into this mix. And it's just like, I found 2017 to be kind of a boom in the media realm, which is so
Right.
perfect for me too. I'm not going out and buying, an album on, all formats and things like that unless I really, really enjoy it, But it was refreshing to see that. I couldn't believe some of the albums that I came across that had CD and vinyl releases and shit, even though they're limited, which does make sense. It's perfectly understandable for these artists to just be limited in their stuff because they don't know if it's going to sell or not, right? I mean, they still have to get their name out there. This is fucking Bandcamp and, various other outlets and things like that. But that's one thing I noticed about 2017 that I really enjoyed. I was astonished by that. I was like, damn, man, that's fucking awesome. I hope it continues throughout this year. And that's based on the fans, though. I mean, the fans have to help this out. They have to buy, the records. They have to buy the CDs and tapes and shit like that. And that's probably the biggest surprising thing for me of the 2017 was all the albums, re-releases on cassettes and new albums on cassette. Like there was albums like Def 3 who released like CD tape and vinyl. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This is so damn cool. I like that, man. It kind of makes me feel, it's taking it back to the old school a little bit, man. I used to get excited. Remember every Tuesday, get a record and stuff. And now you go on Bandcamp. I'm like, man, I feel like a little kid again. It's like, fuck, they got physical copies, man. They got physical copies. And I get so damn disappointed too when I find a record and I'm like, it's got no physical release, man. That sucks. But
I get that.
It's like specifically artists are putting the stuff out themselves. They're not relying on a record company. And even when they were still doing it themselves, they were just starting out. A lot of it was just digital stuff. They weren't sure.
Yeah.
And now they see that, they can actually press their own stuff for relatively not too much money. It's like, it's relatively affordable. And people will buy, the physical merch. Like the Bandcamp is what's really big now, just having your own like merch, limited merch, just pressing up 100 copies of that sells out. And then it sells on eBay for $500 a piece. So
yeah, that's the thing. You see it on Bandcamp. If you go on there and they do have physical releases, I find almost all of them are sold out.
Yeah, and I mean, to the average person, it'd be like, oh, well, that sucks. And I'm like, I look at it as a positive way. I'm like, that's good that they're sold out. Because that means that their shit is getting out there and people are finding other artists through that too, like relatable artists and things like that. So that means people are still buying this stuff, and that is a good thing. It doesn't, just because it says sold out doesn't mean they're not going to repress either. It doesn't say one-time limited pressing. It may come back. And some of these artists do that. They'll do a second pressing. I think Elzai did that with the Elmatic. See, didn't he? Because he pressed up like a small quantity. It sold out really quick, and then he repressed it, which got a mass, got distributed a little bit more widely. So. Yeah,
and I still didn't get a copy. Damn it!
I think it's still in print, dude. I think you can still find it. Yeah,
you can still get it now. Yeah.
You know what, man? I'll take a look for you.
I thought it was done.
Yeah, you can actually get it from his site now, I believe. So just
shit.
I got my copy from. So
I know.
Yeah, so I've been wanting that for a long time.
Yeah, man. I used to see it around all the time. Like you could even get copies through Amazon Prime, for Christ's sake, at one time. Like that's how much it got distributed around. So that's pretty cool.
Why did I think it was like out of print? Like I thought it was done. Like
it was for a while until he pressed on more copies. So it's definitely pretty ready.
It may have been pressed up a couple different times too, because I think it's been a big type seller and stuff. But
after that first initial run where everybody wanted it, he did like a second and a third press and maybe even a fourth press. So it's they all look exactly the same, but they're all like different runs. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't care what run it is. I just want it. So
I would also recommend that people, even if it is sold out on Bandcamp, contact the artist. There have been a few times where I've been able to contact the artist and still get a copy straight from them. Just every Bandcamp page pretty much has a way to contact the artist. So or go to artist website, whatever. Hit them up on Twitter. I've hit them up on Twitter and Facebook myself and gotten physical copies that way. So sometimes that's the only way to do it.
You know what, man? That's the beauty of the world that we live in right now. How everybody's so connected. Just a couple buttons away, and you can always accomplish your goals by just contacting. I mean, same with horror films too. I mean, I've contacted directors where they had copies for sale and shit, and apparently they were sold out. And I said, "Yo, man, do you have anything?" Like, yeah, for sure we do. They always have those extra copies, and I've gotten shit sent to me that way, and music wise also. So that's what you do. You know, I mean, everyone's on every outlet, you know, whether it be Instagram or Twitter or fucking Facebook. You can always find somebody. There's really no excuse to be like, oh, I couldn't find them, man. It's like, really? I mean, if artists are always on social media, this is how their shit sells these days, right? It's the only way their shit sells. I mean, if it wasn't
with that is, I thought that might have been like kind of disrespectful to them to say that, because I heard Vinny Pez say this one time. It's like he was saying that someone contacted him and said, "Man, can I get a copy of this?" He's like, "Do you think I'm shipping this shit like myself now?" It's like, you know, have some respect. Like, I have people doing this stuff for me, basically. So I know, like,
Vinny might be a little bit. I mean, you know, in the horror realm, I mean, there's so many independent directors. I mean, these guys are releasing the films themselves. I think you have to kind of look at your situation too. Like, you look at these directors who independently produced and are putting their stuff out on their homemade website and stuff like that. I mean, it's a little bit different. There's a contact thing there for a reason. Vinny's a little bit bigger. I can understand that he's probably got people working for him, you know. But I think if you were to contact, like, even somebody like Hex One, you know, I'm sure that he'd probably reply and be like, "Yo, man," because all their stuff's super independent, right?
Yeah,
and, you know, I think it'd be like, "No, man, dude, your shit's sold out. Like, do you by any chance?" I mean, be polite about it. Be like, "Yo, man, I want a vinyl, man. Hit me up."
Yeah,
you know, like, you know, be polite about it and shit. I'm sure they'll get back to you, man. I mean, it's sales for them, really.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, so, but yeah, man, fucking 2017. It's just been such an oddball year, you know. Like, I've got a buddy who has a record store. Sells CDs, tapes, vinyls, and, you know, all that type of stuff. And it's just fucking blows my mind. I'll be in there bullshit with them and stuff, and all the young kids that are in there just digging in the fucking crates, man. It's just been such an explosion, and it makes me kind of smile, you know, to see people like so excited about physical media and shit like that. And I don't know, I just haven't felt like this in the last few years, because it's obviously been on a huge decline. People just weren't buying music. Everything was digital, and this year just kind of exploded for me. And just thank the gods, man. That shit's
it is interesting when you go into, like, all the chain record stores are gone here. I mean, it's just independent record stores. And when you go in, though, they're, like you said, man, there's a ton of people in there, like kids, everybody's in there. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it actually is. I love to hear it, though, when somebody comes into the store and like, "Yo, man, you got a you know, cassette deck?" And he's like, "Yo, man," and he pretty much carries like old vintage stuff. Like, that's what he specializes in, like old turntables and vintage amps and, you know, tape decks and stuff. He doesn't really buy anything new, so basically anything that's black, you know, it's got to be like that silver color and shit like that. But I love it, though, man. People are coming in there. It's just a constant fucking flow, man. Constant flow. People are ordering like you know, re-release tapes and shit. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if that's the only way they can get it, if they never had an original, that's cool. That's cool. But the thing is, it's still a thing. Or I should say it's a thing again. I shouldn't say still, because last few years, we've talked about this many times, you know, on and off the air, about physical media. And that was the biggest surprise for me in 2017, was going onto Bandcamp and just seeing these indie artists with shit to sell. And I'm just like, that's fucking awesome, man. I mean, even Urbnet started repressing their stuff in Canada here. I mean, for a while there, they stopped pressing up. Everything was digital. Like, there was a couple records, you know, those underground hip hop collection things that I think they pressed up like the first 5 or 6 of them, and then like volume 7, 8, 9 weren't pressed up, and now they're pressing them up again. You know, even like, you know, Mocha releases what, 25 to 30 albums a year.
Yeah.
Like, all this shit's being pressed, and I'm like, you know, guys are coming up to Canada to Urbnet, like Elemento and Mr. Brady and shit like that. Their shit was being pressed up, and I'm like, this is fucking exciting, man. Like, that means that there's a market, because if they stop pressing and then they started pressing again, that really excites me, man. So
yeah.
But yeah, 2017, man. You know, it was, like we said, musically it was a really good year. I had a lot of, you know, good times listening to tunes this year and shit like that. But it was also a year of sadness, though, too, man. I mean, we lost probably one of the biggest hip hop names in hip hop history, you know, in 2017, and in Prodigy, you know. And, you know, it was funny, I was listening to Don't Take It Personal podcast, and you know, with Kevlar and Philip Flav and DJ 360. You guys ever listen to it? It's more of like a, it's like this. They talk, but most of the show is all music and shit, right? And they play.
I've heard of it.
They play. Yeah. I fucking love that. I listen to every episode. Like,
oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah. You told me to listen to that before. I did listen to it before. Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love it, man. Some of their new episodes are just so fucking good, man. They've gotten so much better on it. But anyways, man, they were talking about, how Prodigy obviously passed away and stuff, one of the greatest of all time to do it and shit like that. And how they have like a Biggie day and they have like a Tupac day, for those guys. And they're like trying to start, they want to have like a Prodigy day. Do you guys agree that he should be in the same level, like we talked about like that? And because I personally do, I think Prodigy was just like unbelievable. He was an unbelievable presence. I mean, he was a legend. He's been around, 20 something years, had an incredible career. I mean, I would say with the people, I mean, not to disrespect the dead or anything, but, Prodigy did have a lot of issues with people and personnel over the years and things like that. I think he even talks about it in his book. And, but losing Prodigy was a huge thing, man. It was a huge blow to hip hop, man. It really was.
It really was. I think that the thing with Prodigy is he's more, people like hip hop heads like us would be all about it. I don't think he's as well known with just, casual hip hop fans like Biggie and Tupac are. And
well, that's how this day would be celebrated to the people that want to be celebrated. Like you have this Prodigy Day,
right.
But I mean, of course, us.
I think that Mobb Deep was one of the most important groups to come out in New York ever. Yeah. So I am completely down for celebrating Prodigy and just Mobb Deep as a group. Definitely down for. I think
that's the thing. Like with us personally, I think Prodigy is on a pedestal that's basically even or above those guys. I mean, for me, I gravitate more towards Mobb Deep than Biggie or Tupac.
Same.
But like Tom was saying, though, generally, like for the general public, they don't know who the hell Prodigy is. They might have heard of Mobb Deep, but they probably don't know the names of the guys in the group or anything.
Well, it's quite interesting, actually. And this has always been a thing, though, with, fans, quote unquote, So when Prodigy passed away, man, I was in my buddy's shop and this was like about a month later. And so we were just sitting there bullshitting about music and stuff. And I said to him, hey, man, I got a question for you. And he's like, shoot. And I'm like, so with the recent death of Prodigy, have you had a lot of people come in here looking for Mobb Deep and Prodigy albums? And he's like, nonstop. I swear deaths make people go out and seek out music. And he knew that some of these people that were looking for it just wanted to hear it. And they heard like, Mobb Deep was classic material and, Prodigy was one of the best of all time. And they wanted to check out his music. I mean, I have a problem with that a little bit, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting. Death triggers people to go and seek out music and stuff, which is not a bad thing because if they're going to I'm never against somebody discovering something. That's totally cool, man. If you're just discovering Mobb Deep and Prodigy now because of his death, that's fine. At least you're going to have the music part of it. But I do find it very intriguing. That's how it happens. I'm not saying that everybody was doing that. There was quite a few people, and he knew for a fact because they were really young. We're talking like 20-year-old kid, 19-year-old kids and shit. You know, guys that were born in the later 90s, so they're probably like on Twitter or something and seeing, newer rappers that they're listening to mention, Prodigy, and they grew up listening to him or something. I thought, gee, I should check that out. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah,
so it is kind of sad, it happens that way, but, as long as they get to hear the music, that's all that really matters.
Exactly. But yeah, man, losing Prodigy in 2017 was a tough one, man. I was just like, it was one of those things where you always knew that Prodigy was sick his entire life. Like he had sickle cell. He, never really lived a healthy day in his life, but he had an amazing career. I mean, if you look back on his career, it's incredible. Mobb Deep they put out a lot of albums. I mean, Prodigy had, which in my opinion had a better solo career than he gets credit for. I don't think people look at his solo career. A lot of people, they kind of overlook it. But the quality of his solo records are actually pretty damn dope.
Yeah.
Like right up into The Alchemist, we need the Albert Einstein record. Like there's a lot of good material in there. And I hope that people are discovering it if they hadn't listened to it now. Not in light of his death, but because he passed away and stuff. But, Prodigy, man, fucking amazing.
Yeah, I love that Albert Einstein album, man.
Shit is dark and I love that, man. Yep. But you know, it's such a sad way to go out though. You know, he's performing in Vegas and then just feeling some ill effects and then just passed. Like it's hard to believe, man. You know.
Yeah.
But that's life though, right, man? But rest in peace to Prodigy, one of the best to ever do it. Who else did we lose in 2017? Combat Jack passed away, which was kind of crazy.
I heard about that.
He passed away from colon cancer. I think complications of colon cancer surgery or something like that. But Combat Jack, of course, legend in, you know, hip hop radio and stuff. I think he actually used to work for The Source. Didn't he used to be like a main editor at The Source magazine back in the good old days?
I think so.
Maybe he was responsible for giving Smith & Wesson a 3 out of 5 mic. Dude, I'm like digging in the crates of like, me and my homies were talking about this and we were talking about funny ass Source ratings. And we're like, and he's like, because we were playing like a little bit of a game. He's like, yo, man, he's like, what did this album get in The Source? Because he's like trying to, he's questioning me. He's like, yo, man, and I was guessing right on a lot of them. And he's like, yo, what did Smith & Wesson and Shining get? And I'm like, I want to say maybe probably 4.5 mics. And he's like, 3. And we just fucking erupted. I was like, you fucking liar. There's no way that album got 3 mics. So crazy. But funny. Apparently like The Source came back, you know, a few years ago and they kind of updated their list and they ended up, it's on the top 100 albums of all time now.
Yeah, so it's funny to do the updated list, you know.
Yeah, so I said to my homie, I was like, man, that is got to be the lowest rated original rating for a record to make the top 100 list. 3 out of 5. Because remember when you read The Source back in those days, and an album that didn't have 3.5 or more mics, you were kind of going, fuck, that record probably sucks kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't remember, because I was obviously reading The Source in those days. I don't remember that rating at all, but there was no way I was dismissing that album because 3 out of 5. Because I remember seeing the video for Let's Get It On and being like, I need to get that shit on right now. You know, kind of thing. But 3 out of 5 mics. What the fuck? But yeah, Combat Jack, man. Big household name in the hip-hop world. Rest in peace to Combat Jack. We lost DJ Crazy Tunes. Of course, Crazy Tunes, man. That was fucking heart attack, man. Skinny ass dude. See, people always talk about fat people having heart attacks and shit. Skinny ass motherfuckers can have heart attacks too. Rest in peace to Crazy Tunes, man. He was always cool, man. Educated Rapper passed away from UTFO. He must have been old, man. Must have been old.
Yeah. I'm
not even sure how he passed away. Rest in peace. Fresh Kid Ice, 2 Live Crew, passed away.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was like, holy shit, man. And, you know, hadn't really heard the name 2 Live Crew in a long time, but I mean, they were always a group that I'm sure all of us bumped at one time. Maybe not fully loved 2 Live Crew, but they were entertaining as flying shit, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. And, I mean, we were kids when that shit was coming out, so that was like, you know, it's kind of entertaining. Like, you know, you got this.
You remember those days of having to hide that shit, though?
I never owned it, but my friend had it, and we used to play it at his place, and it was hilarious.
I remember before school, man. I think it was when the Luke the Band in the USA album came on, and one of my best friends, man, his brother was 3 years older, and so I remember we were in the 5th grade, and I think he was like in the 8th, and so I'd go to his house to pick him up in the morning before I go to school. Well, I walk in the house, and there's like 20 people in there listening to Fuck Martinez, and everyone's just like, yeah, fuck Martinez, fuck Martinez. We're just like, you know, that I remember those days being like, damn, dude, like, I could listen to tunes at home, and my parents usually wouldn't get mad, but if I was playing Fuck Martinez or Face Down, Ass Up and shit, my mom would be like, yo, come on, man, turn that shit off. But like, one of my fondest memories of 2 Live Crew, though, man, came in 2000. I moved down to Vancouver and I was in music school. I was doing production, and I actually won 2 Live Crew tickets on the radio. There was this there was this local radio show. It was actually pay radio. It was pay radio. These guys used to go on. I actually knew one of the dudes. I actually eventually ended up meeting one of the dudes, and this was actually after I won the tickets. But these guys, there was 3 guys on the show, and they used to pay, kind of like on like an indie radio or whatever, pay for airtime. And they would do a 3-hour hip-hop show from 12 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning, I think 3 nights a week? Or 2 nights? I can't remember. So they would pay to go on the radio. And they got all this shit to like give away and stuff. It was crazy. I don't know. But anyways, I won 2 Live Crew tickets. And they were playing 2 shows in Vancouver. One, they were playing Dicks on Dicks, which was like an all-ages show. and they were also playing at the Cecil, which is like this world famous strip club in Vancouver, which is actually not even there anymore. So of course I'm going to the X-rated show, and their stage is like, you can run on this motherfucker. It's so big, right? So Two Live Crew is playing in the strip club, and I'm thinking to myself, man, like I've heard about Two Live Crew shows, I've seen footage of Two Live Crew shows, and this is like an X-rated. This shit's gonna be off the hook, and it was, dude. They had chicks 69ing on stage. It was fucking nuts, dude. It was absolutely one of a kind show. I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anything since, because you can't get away with shit like that. But they were playing in a strip club, in a world famous strip club to boot. They used to get fucking porn stars in there all the time and shit. And it was just, I've never seen anything so entertaining in my life. I was laughing all night. I'm like, this is unbelievable. The shit that was going on stage. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And they sounded great. They sounded great. And it was just, it was one of those good hip hop memories. It's pretty fun stuff. But rest in peace to Fresh Kid Ice. Pam the Functress, man, from the Coop passed away. Can anyone fill me in on how she passed away? I actually don't know.
I'm not sure.
She was the female DJ from the Coop. You guys know the Coop, right?
Yeah.
Which is, kind of odd, right? Like, I mean, there's not a whole lot of hip-hop groups out there that had female DJs. I mean, you can think of Salt and Peppa with Spinderella. And actually, Spinderella is the reason why Pam the Functress actually got into doing what she did. And she, Pam the Functress, if you check out videos of her, man, she could cut some serious-ass wax, man. She was dope, man. She was really cool, man. But rest in peace to her.
I don't think I've ever really looked into her like that. To be honest, I was never really the biggest fan of the Coop, so I never really looked into her like that, but I'll definitely have to check her out, because I'm always a big fan of DJ routines like that. So
yeah, I can see you not being a big fan. I always loved the Coop, man. I always loved Boots, and just because they had that different sound coming from Oakland, like at the time, nobody sounded like that out of Oakland. I mean, if Oakland back in those days was fucking, the Dangerous Crew, man. You're listening to Too Short and Ant Banks and stuff. I mean, that was fucking Oakland, right? But the Coop sounded completely different.
Completely. Yeah,
completely different, and they were very political too. They were very political driven, and I still think that one of the craziest stories in hip hop history actually is involving the Coop. And you guys know what I'm getting at here. 9/11. This shit is fucking crazy, man. So, okay, the Coop had a record coming out 2001 called Party Music, and on the cover of the original album cover for Party Music, which was coming out on 9/11, had planes flying into the towers.
Yeah.
And so obviously the album didn't come out with that album cover, but can you talk about crazy coincidence? Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
some crazy ass shit right there. Like, insane. And, I've seen some of those albums actually got leaked out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some of them did get out.
Yeah, and I actually saw one on eBay for one time, and it was selling for like $1,000 or some crazy shit. It was fucking nuts.
Shit.
I don't know if it ever sold. I doubt it. I mean, who the fuck's going to pay $1,000 just for an album cover when you can go get Party Music for $5, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they end up changing the album cover and releasing it after 9/11 kind of thing. But that is some really eerie and strange shit, right?
Yeah. Tom just went into a hyper warp.
What's going on over there?
What happened?
You sound like Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas when he's in Flea in the bathroom doing LSD.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. That's good, man.
I have no idea what happened.
It's a digital fucking breakup, man. And
you got Skyped.
Not really, fully hip hop related, but rest in peace to Charlie Murphy too, man. Charlie Murphy passed away.
Yeah, Charlie Murphy's a funny son of a bitch.
That was really quite shocking to me. I couldn't believe that. That was one of those deaths I was like, really? What the fuck? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Sometimes that's just what happens, but yeah, rest in peace to everyone mentioned there. 2017, I mean, every year we always have our deaths and stuff, but Prodigy, man, that's one that I can't get over, man. It still hurts,
tough, man.
I've been listening to Mobb Deep, obviously throughout all the years and stuff, and yeah, it's tough, man. It's really, really tough. So, yep. But yeah, man.
Did we say rest in peace to Tom's Skype connection, or is he with us?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, all right, you're back. He's back. Right.
There, he doesn't sound like Robot Jocks anymore here.
No.
What's up, Short Circuit? All right, you back? Okay. All right. Well, introductions over. You know what? Let's just get into this top 10 round tree 2017 hip hop albums. And of course, these are our personal favorites. I mean, I make my list. Okay, well, let's define how we made our list here. I made my list basically based on how much I listened to the records. I was having such a fuck of a time trying to do this list this year because there were so many quality records that could fit into that top 10, in which I'll do an extended list later because I want to, talk about some of these other records too. But I basically did my list based on replay value and the amount of listens and things like that, and just kind of ranked it like that. Just easier. I always have to have a method to my madness, because if I just go in and go, hey, I'm gonna put 10 albums in the list, it's fucking hard to do.
Yeah,
it actually is seriously hard to do. So that was my method to madness. What was your guys's?
Yeah, basically the same for me. I mean, you can sit there and think about things, and I usually overthink everything to start with. So I ended up finalizing my list at 4 a.m., which is ridiculous, but I have a list. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing. I kind of took into account just which ones I guess liked more, because some of the records that I picked came out a little bit maybe later in the year. I think just one or two. I think just one, actually. Not like at the tail end of the year, so I still had some time to listen to them. But because obviously it's hard to pick if the record comes out in December and you love it. You don't have enough time to fucking. Is it gonna be your number one record? As opposed to something that came out in January. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, Run the Jewels 3 came out last year at the end of December. Right. So I mean,
does that count?
It's kind of hard to throw that on the 2016 list or whatever.
Right.
But
you're right. But it doesn't fit on the So I mean, that's kind of how I did my list too. Just whatever I played the most, and kind of from there what I kind of same as you guys. So
I think I ended up throwing it on my extended list last year, or I can't remember if I did. It's still it's the weakest out of the three for myself. I don't know about you guys, but I think the third one is definitely the weakest record. But a lot of years that happens though. Some total bombs will just drop in December, and you're like, "Fuck, man!" You're trying to solidify your list, and all of a sudden you're like, "Shit, man, where do I put this? Has got to be making the list."
Yeah, man, that's the thing. I mean, I love a good list, but this was a damn struggle.
This really was, man, and I didn't realize how hard it was going to be until I started, and I was putting off organizing the list until a couple weeks ago, and I literally wrote down 30 albums, and I'm like, okay, so, and I'm looking at them going, I need a method here. This is ridiculous because I love this record for this reason. This one could fit here. I'm like, how do I do this? So, but that's a good thing, because that means that there was quality records. There's nothing worse than doing a top 10 list and going, yeah, well, there was 10 good records this year.
Yeah.
Just fucking put them all in your list. You're like, that's my list. No, man. No, but so with that said, man, let's get into the top 10 round tree. Who wants to go first?
How about you start it off?
Okay, fine. I'll start it off. In at number 10 for myself is a record that I think I mentioned to you guys quite a few times to check out. This one dropped, I want to say maybe mid-year, somewhere in there. It was a bitch to get to, man. I was going to order the vinyl of this, but the shipping was retarded. But in at number 10 is Koss, Born to Live. He is a Belgian producer, and I came across this record kind of by accident, actually. I'd heard this song, Longevity, that he did with Masta Ace. So it's a producer record.
Good song.
Yeah, so I'd heard the song, and I was like, who the fuck is Koss? I hadn't really heard of this guy before, and I looked into him, and he turns out he's a Belgian producer who worked, and this album's great, man. It's really, really great. He worked with cats like Tory, Masta Ace, Large Professor, Craig G. He's got Marley Marl on a fucking skit on the record, Black Poet, J Live, even Keith Murray makes an appearance on the record with a dope track, man. And actually, this sounds like old Keith Murray. Murray's actually ripping it up pretty good, and Rusty Jux is on the record. And pretty cool stuff. If you get the extended CD version of it, it's got a remix by K-Def of the Masta Ace Longevity song. There's a remix for the Large Professor Craig G done by 12 Finger Dam. And then we got a couple other remixes on there too. Large Professor remixes the Keith Murray song, which is really cool too. But this is a very cohesive type boom bap type record. You guys know what I'm into. So, do you like those MCs and shit? I think every song on here is awesome, but Longevity was kind of the stick out that got me to check out this record. So did you guys end up hearing the album at all?
Yep. Yeah, I checked it out after you mentioned it. Definitely quality stuff.
Yeah, it's short. You know, it feels short when you listen to it, but I think it's short and good. And
Yeah.
I don't really think there's any misses. Like, I absolutely love Craig G on this record, man. The Large Pro Craig G song is just awesome, man. It's called Her. It's kind of like a dedication song to hip hop and things like that, and it's awesome, man. I think that's an interesting duo. Large Professor being one of my favorite producers / MCs, because I like his style. I know some people are always kind of like, Large Professor's he's kind of not choppy when he raps, but he's just so kind of direct. You know, he doesn't have that like real fluent flow, but I disagree. I think he raps so good to his bars. But then you got Craig G, who's like really dope. Like he's still killing it, man, with the rhymes. And I think that, you know, that contrast between Large Professor and Craig G, which I don't know if they've ever done a song together. Maybe Large Pro may have. Oh, Large Pro has produced for Craig G in the past, but I don't think they've ever actually rapped together. But man, dude is fucking. I love this record, man. Rusty Jux kills this track. J Live sounds amazing. It's cool to hear, man, because Tori and Black Poet and Rusty Jux all kind of have that same type of style, like in your face kind. I don't know. I really like the record, man. But Cost Born to Live. Check it out, man. It's on CD and vinyl. I believe the vinyl doesn't have the bonus tracks, or maybe just has 2 of the bonus tracks. Don't mark my word on it because I'm always wrong. And but yeah, that's my number 10.
Nice. What did you have, Tom?
For number 10, we're not going to go all the way down. We're going to go one up. Okay. Let's see. I had Rock Marciano's Rosebud Revenge. Obviously, the one that we reviewed on the show. And surprisingly, I played it a bunch after we reviewed it. Like, this was basically nonstop in my system for however long. Obviously, Rock Marciano's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone loves his voice, his rhyme flow, whatever. People say they fucking, you know, it's not for everyone. The beats aren't always for everyone. But I thought this was a fucking fantastic. He's never had a bad record or, you know, bad project, in my opinion. Everything is always fantastic. A nice kind of production on this, too, that was, I don't know, produced by him, a couple of tracks produced by him, especially near the end. A little bit different for him. It didn't make me want to fall asleep, as people like to say. That his flow likes to make him fall asleep. So not for me, man. It always keeps me entertained. It's smooth. It's definitely smooth, but it's just so dope. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard the record. If you haven't, I would highly recommend you go check it out. But Rock Marciano, just in general.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. I'm glad that made your list.
Yeah, man. So I was listening to Take It Personal podcast again just the other day, and I think it was the new episode they had. There was a little bit of interview with Apathy and Vanderslice on there, and
Vanderslice, where's Vanderslice been?
that was actually part of the conversation, man. They're like, where the fuck? They were like, where the fuck is Yo album, man? Because he's like,
yeah, man.
Because it was kind of funny, right? Because, you know, Apathy's just been killing the motherfucking game, man. Like, he's been dropping shit left and right. Like, he's very, very consistent with producing or doing records with OC or putting out solo. Like, he's always doing something, right? And they're like, yo, man, we know where you're at, Apathy, but Vanderslice, where the fuck's your album, man? And they were actually bugging him that Apathy could drop like 3-4 albums in the time that he could do fucking record half of his first album, you know, or half of one album. But it was actually a really funny conversation. But they were talking about like Kevlar, and they were interviewing him basically, and they were like, yo, man. So they asked him like what the last classic album was, you know, and shit like that. And I think Apathy had actually even mentioned like Evidence or something like that. But Vanderslice went on to say, he's like, man, I don't even listen to modern music. I was like, really? Like, you don't listen to? Really? He's like, dude, he's like, I didn't listen to anything okay, this is how the conversation got started. 360's like, yo, man, he's like, to be honest, he's like, Perestroika was one of my favorite albums of the year, blah, blah, blah. And he asked Apathy what his was, and Vanderslice was like, man, I didn't listen to anything from 2017. I don't listen to anything modern and shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, as a producer and shit, like, you think you would, you know, you would still check out some records and stuff like that, right? Not to like bite or anything, but just to see what is going on in the game. And that got me thinking. I was like, man, you know, these guys started out as fans at one time. When did they stop being a fan and just, you know, just to do the music for money and shit? Like, I mean, but I mean, if you're not being a fan anymore and you're doing the music, like it only seems like it's half the love, you know? You still can be a fan. I don't know
if maybe if he like doesn't want any outside influence or, you know, any comparisons to modern music, he's just going to do his thing type of thing. But
that is true. And, you know, I did consider that. But I mean, but even to still have the love, you know, I mean, you're part of it. Like, you know, if you're a fan of hip hop, and, you know, Cool G Rap dropped a record in 2017. Like, even as a producer, as Vanderslice, wouldn't you be slightly curious on hearing that album because he might be one of your favorite MCs of all time? You know, but he didn't check it out.
You would think so.
You know, and it blew my mind. But Apathy seems very into it. Like, he's still a fan, you know? And they were talking about records and shit. And anyways, the guys from Take It Personal brought up, like, what are your thoughts on, you know, Rock Marciano and Rosebud's Revenge and shit? And they were both just like, man, they're like, well, I don't get that dude, man. I don't get that dude. What the fuck's with the no drums and shit? And they're like, they went off on a tangent about the no drums and stuff. And then I think it was Vanderslice who brought up the fact that the album's just not Vanderslice. Apathy brought it up, and he's like, man, the album's like, it's mixed so bad. Like, his vocals are so in the mix and like this and that. True. But yeah, I do agree. And I think we did talk about that, how the mixing is actually not really the greatest on the record. But they were
there are a couple songs that are pretty damn bad.
Yeah, like actually really bad. And it's funny because I re-listened to the whole album last night again. And I was listening to Sean P's album, then I was listening to, I tell you, the production difference in those two records is like apples and fucking oranges, man. It's crazy how shitty this album sounds compared to like the crisp production of Sean P's album.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It's crazy, man. But it was a very interesting interview with Vanderslice and Apathy. Like, they were just talking about a whole pile of crazy stuff. And at one point in the interview, they asked him, like, because, you know, they're industry guys and, you know, they've met a lot of dudes and stuff, like, who's an asshole? Who's an asshole? Vanderslice pipes up and he's like, Pete Rock's a fucking asshole, man.
Pete Rock?
I was like, and then Apathy, like, you could hear Apathy go, what? Pete Rock's like the nicest fucking guy I've ever met in my life, man.
That's hilarious.
It was just like the funniest conversation, man. I was like, I was so shocked to hear Pete Rock, because everything I've ever heard about Pete Rock is that he's super nice. He's super fucking nice. Like, he's just a down to earth. He doesn't have I mean, if you follow him on Instagram, all he does is post his comedy shit. He barely ever posts hip hop things. It's always comedy, and it's usually funny ass shit too. It's pretty funny. And he's kind of political and stuff like that too. But Apathy was telling the story about Pete Rock, that, you know, because he worked with Pete Rock recently, and he goes, honestly, man, he goes, Pete Rock's like the most down to earth fucking guy. But he goes, my only problem with Pete Rock is that motherfucker gets so damn high when he works, he forgets. He forgets shit. And he's like, yo, man, we're working on this track. And he's like, I sent him over the vocals and shit like that. And it was like a couple weeks later, and I didn't hear from him. So I contacted him. Pete's like, yo, man, you sent me those vocals? He's like, motherfucker, I sent you those shit like 2 weeks ago. He's like, that dude's always so damn high, he's forgetting. I was like,
that's funny.
I can't even picture Pete Rock just getting so fucking lifted that he can't even remember that he got vocals from Apathy. That shit was.
I never even heard Pete Rock talk about getting high like that or anything.
That's exactly my point. I didn't realize that. Like, I mean, it's different, you know, smoke some joints, you know, you get a little blaze and you go do your shit, but like getting so fucked up that you're just like, I can't work right now.
And Apathy seems like the type of guy who's like pretty professional, you know. He would be like on time with shit and like, what's this guy doing? He's
very, very, he's very motivated in that sense, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And they had this really funny conversation about Perestroika too, with, you know, how it's a very, well, we talked about it too, a very unlikely duo, you know, Apathy and OC. And he's like, it's funny, man. He's like, it's really, really funny because like we can't really tour over in Japan doing this record because like, he's like, in Japan, man, they fucking love DITC, man. I mean, fucking OC and, you know, Diamond, all those cats are they're the bomb. Like, they love DITC over there. Fucking hate white rappers. They're like, they fucking hate, they don't want to see white rappers rap because it's not authentic to them. And Apathy, and this is Apathy talking, funny. It's so funny. He's like, so we can't do the show over there because they don't want to hear me fucking rap. And he's like, that's fine. But he goes, it makes sense. It totally makes sense because when I fucking watch a kung fu movie, I don't want to watch fucking some white dude doing some kung fu. I want to see some Asian dude doing some kung fu. And I was like, that's so funny. Yeah. it's like a good conversation, but.
Yeah, it is funny.
But anyways, off on a major, huge tangent there. Tom, number 10 years was Rosebud's Revenge. Cool.
But yeah. What you got, Jason?
And coming in at number 10 for me is some good lo-fi boom bap shit with Hex One, Words Worth 1,000 Pictures.
Nice. Yeah, really dope record, man.
Yeah, this came out later in the year, so I didn't get to, give it as many plays as a lot of other stuff, but I definitely anticipate on listening to it a lot coming up in this year.
I agree, man. It's very Hex One. Very epidemic type style sounding record.
Yeah, I mean, with Hex One, you basically know what you're going to get at this point. I've never been disappointed by anything that he has put out or Epidemic has put out, so he's good quality shit.
Definitely one of the most consistent underground groups, and yeah, he's got 2 records out now, and plus the Epidemic, like really, really quality stuff. I think my biggest problem with the record, man, is that when you listen to it, it just flies by too fast. It's only 38 minutes long.
Yeah, that's the way I found a lot of albums this year. They're around the 37, 38 minute mark.
That's almost like...
I love that though, man. I love that. It's like, like you said, it just flies by and you just want to play it again.
It's funny because I always considered like 45. I know it's not much of a difference at 7 minutes. Ooh, 7 fucking minutes. Look at this guy. He's bitching about 7 minutes. But I always felt like 45 minutes was like the perfect length for a record. And the reason for that, because growing up, I used to, obviously when in the early 90s, I didn't have a lot of money. It's not like I had a fucking job. I was like 11, 12, So I used to record a lot of albums, from my buddy's older siblings and shit like that. My homie, his older brother was really into hip hop, which was awesome because he used to have, these records and shit like that. So I'd record them. And I remember when the Low End Theory came out back in 92. And, or was it 91? Whatever, 91, 92. No, it's 92. And so, but that, it kind of solidified it for me because that record you could record on one side of a 90-minute tape.
Yeah.
And then I figured out there was a lot of albums you could do that with, like, whether it be like, Funk Dubious or the Cypress, like there was tons of records that were coming out that were 45 minutes. And I always remember that. I could record the whole record on one side and flip it over and have a whole nother album. And it was awesome. So I was like, that was the perfect length for a record for myself, just based on.
And it kind of stuck with you all these years.
It did, man. And I was like, man, there's nothing worse than hearing a record that's 78 minutes, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, cut your shit. It's like those damn indie horror directors that, they make a fucking hour or a 127-minute indie film. You're like, dude, I know that you want to use all the footage that you shot, but you need to cut that shit down, man. That's way too fucking long.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to cut your shit up. But yeah, 38 minutes. The album only has 2 features on it, I believe, Sky Zoo and of course Tex on a song too, which ultimately is an Epidemic track.
Yeah. That song with Sky Zoo is a really good song.
I do, man. I love that track. That's like one of my favorite tracks on the album, man. Peep the Steez?
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite tracks on there.
Yeah, that's good shit, man. But some classic sound and boom bap shit right there. That's cool. Hex One. That's a good choice. All right.
Thank you, I actually had that at my like 11th or 12th spot. That was like very close.
Oh, nice.
Edging in, the list. So definitely one of my favorite releases this year for sure.
Cool.
I agree, man. I agree. So coming at number 9, and back onto that, that fucking boom bap right there, man. That's what we're gonna be fucking with here. Coming across the pond too, man. I didn't even realize this, but this is another European producer, Propo 88. With Astronomic Delight. Another producer record. This is not intentional. I actually did not even realize that I had done this, but
Mood's going all European on us here.
Seriously.
Man, if you're into boom, I mean, Propo 88 obviously is hugely inspired by 90s hip hop. Because these beats, I've shown people Propo 88's beats before, and they legitimately thought they were from the 90s. I'm like, no, man, this is brand new recorded stuff. And they're like, fuck, that's crazy. And I'm like, maybe it's because, over in the Netherlands, they are just getting the 90s stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're just like so far behind the times. It's like all brand new. And like, they're just imitating what they're getting. No, but for real though. But like, It's another great record, man. You know, it's got. I know Jay's not the biggest fan of Blabbermouth, but I love him, man. It's got Hex One on a record called Extra Extra. Wadalux is on it. Some other cats from their crew. But it's just like strictly awesome boom bap shit, man. Like, I think the whole album bangs from top to bottom. It's like a perfect record too. It's got 12 tracks, 12 overall tracks. Got like kind of like an intro, outro type thing, and it's just classy, dirty sound and boom bap, but kind of clear though. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just, but nothing but good stuff, man. The Anticipated with Wadalux, man, is so fucking dope. I think there's actually a video for that track too, so you can check that out. But yeah, man, give this one a shot, man. Awesome record. Propo 88, another producer record. Check
I actually didn't listen to this one, so that's one I'll put down on the list to check out for sure.
I will say I don't think that there's a CD for it. It only, I believe it just got released on vinyl. I was lucky enough to actually grab one through. I ordered from Underground. I ordered from Underground Hip Hop. That's right. Okay. I actually got a copy from there. But I think the only release is on vinyl, which is, I mean, I'm totally fine. So, but if you can't go that way, there is digital copies and stuff. But Propo 88, check it out, man. It's good stuff.
Nice.
So keeping kind of, if we, the same boom bap theme, since I guess that's where we're going with this. My number 9 is Apollo Brown and Planet Asia, Good Old Anchovies.
Nice.
Nice.
Everyone loves anchovies. So yeah, I don't know. Have you guys heard this record?
Yep.
I'm assuming you have, but
Yep.
So
honestly, with this record, I was a little bit disappointed in it. I don't know. It just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, that's what I hear. A lot of people said they were disappointed. I thought it was perfect. A little bit of maybe sparse production from Apollo Brown on this one, not his usual.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still you got that boom bap kind of dusty, gritty production, but it's definitely still sparse, a little bit more minimal from Apollo Brown. I like that though. I like that he let Planet Asia go crazy and just do his thing. This kind of, I know it's not the same for everyone, but this reminds me a little bit of when Planet Asia was just first coming out back in like the early 90s, like 99, the Planet Asia EP, stuff with Rasco. I know it's not the same style of rapping, but it gives me the same kind of feeling when I hear this that gave me. So I've always been a huge fan of Planet Asia, and Apollo Brown obviously is amazing. I know what you mean, Jason. I've heard more than a few people say that, and I completely get it. But for me, this is one of my favorite records for sure. You're not going to get anything crazy on this, so don't expect anything that, well, maybe you will from Apollo Brown. You might get something a little bit less than you would think Apollo Brown, but
yeah, man,
I think it worked well. So that's just me, though. I'm weird, apparently. So
I agree. I'm a fan of Planet Asia too, man. I think he's had a very productive career, man. Like, he's a very interesting cat. He's kept it, strictly underground, and actually on purpose too, man. He's, they've tried to sign him to major labels a bunch of times. He's like, nah, man, fuck that shit. He's like, seriously stays and does his own thing because he wants to control. But I like how he does work with like specific producers and things like that, and he's stayed relevant throughout the years, which without a lot of notoriety. Because you talk to some people, and are like, oh man, you hear that new Planet Asia record? They're like, who? And dude's always dropping some shit, man. But I like Planet Asia and, his style of MCing and shit like that. I think he's pretty dope. And he's an interesting cat, too, actually, going back to Take a Personal Podcast. There's actually a recent episode that they actually interviewed Planet Asia, and it's a great fucking interview, man. It's like an hour and a half, whatever it is. Man, I learned a lot of shit about Planet Asia, man, that I didn't know. Very, very in-depth stuff right there, so check that out. But I agree with Jay, man. I actually agree. I do like this project. I was disappointed because one of my favorite things about Apollo Brown is his goddamn drums. I love the drum sound. I mean, one of my favorite albums of this millennium is Trophies. I fucking find that album to be like perfect. I think it's so good. And he does such great albums with people. But this shocked me that this was like a drumless record, man. Yeah,
and it's kind of funny for me because I love Apollo Brown, but I'm always like kind of like making fun of him, saying, "Oh, it's basically sounds the same every time out." But he changed it up a lot this time. Yeah, and
I think that's why
it didn't work for me.
I think it's why I like this so much because he did change it up and it did work for me. It wasn't the same usual Apollo Brown shit that we get every time, and I'm like, "Wow, this is totally different." I'm digging this. I didn't think I was going to be like the first couple times I played it, I wasn't as hot on it. I was like, "This is cool." You know,
Yeah.
it's definitely different. I don't think I'm gonna love this. And something just clicked for me after like the third, fourth listen. I was like, damn. I don't know, something I heard. It was definitely mostly Planet Asia, I gotta say. Apollo Brown and the minimal production from Apollo Brown and Planet Asia going over it. Just something about it just worked.
Yeah.
I said maybe it was nostalgia a little bit for me, but I'll admit,
I didn't
it
get to
probably
spin this one as much as I wanted to, like, because I had pre-ordered this album and it didn't ship forever, right? I just got it like, you know, a few weeks ago, so I didn't get to spin it as much as I wanted to. But I actually spun it again last night, and but you know, it's all right. I mean, when I think of Apollo Brown, I think of that drums that he uses. I don't know, man. It's good though. But Planet Asia does kill the record though. I think he's got a really interesting style of MCing, and he's intriguing. He's intriguing. He's always saying some shit, man. He's not what you think he is, and I don't know, man. It's a decent record. It's just something that you know. I can't see myself rolling around and bumping that shit in my car because there is the fucking drums, man. You know, it's just so weird to me. But I don't know. It's still good though. I enjoy it.
it's still good.
Nice.
I like the record, but yeah, it's still good. Yeah, it only just came out, but it's just not what it's completely not what I was expecting. I was honestly shocked to shit, dude.
Yeah, that's the way I was a little bit as well.
Yeah. I mean, considering Apollo Brown's done how many records in the last 10 years with people, and you know, like you said, it's, you know, when you hear an Apollo Brown record, you know you're hearing an Apollo Brown record. It's got that, you know, those drum patterns, those drum sounds, and the strings, and that he uses and shit like that. It's kind of like, you know, he's kind of like this generation, not this generation, but the, you know, it's kind of like Ninth Wonder of like the 2000s and shit. You remember when you hear a Ninth Wonder track, you're like, that's Ninth Wonder.
Yeah,
you know, that's, so. All right.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that I didn't, as I said previously, I didn't hear that many hip hop records this year. This is, so maybe if I heard something else, it would have knocked it out. But yeah, this is just one for me. Like I said, mainly for Planet Asia. So, and go check out some of Planet Asia's earlier stuff too. That's where I think his best stuff is. But yeah.
You ever hear The Medicine?
Yep.
Yep.
Produced
Definitely.
by Evidence?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, that's like one of those records where nobody talks about. You know, Evidence has produced entire records for people that no one ever talks about, man.
Right.
You know, Evidence is actually quite prolific. I mean, you think about all the Dilated People stuff and his solo career, which is blowing the fuck up. But then, you know, he produced an entire record for like Planet Asia. He also did. You guys ever hear the one that he did with Elemento?
Yeah, that's a good record. I was actually listening to that the other night.
Dude, that album is so damn underrated. Fucking dope. Elemento fits on those beats like a glove, man. It's fucking great, dude. And then, of course, he did this year's record with Madchild too. You know, so he's been a busy motherfucker, man. He's always doing some shit. But I think that Medicine record with Planet Asia has been super, super overlooked.
I think it's fantastic.
I
love it.
Good shit.
I think it is too, man. I think it's like one of Planet Asia's best. And Planet Asia has a big discography, man. He's got a lot of records, man. He really does.
Yeah, he's put out albums where I had no clue they were even put out, and then I was like, oh shit, there's a new Planet Asia album.
I think people forget that, like, he came out in the 90s.
Been around for a while, and especially lately, he's been putting out like quite a few projects that have just been going under the radar.
Yeah, exactly.
That album not too long ago with, I can't even say the producer's name. It's like Tsarism, some TZ, something like that. I don't know if you guys heard that one. Yeah,
well, he also did the record with DJ Concept last year, I think.
Yep, that was a few years back. He also did.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
he actually already has a new album this year in 2018. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah, it dropped like right after Anchovies, which is actually, he talks about that in the interview. And actually, I think it was like 360 asked him, he's like, yo, man, he's like, you just dropped this record with Apollo Brown and Anchovies, and then you got an album coming out like 2 weeks later. And he's like, yo, what the fuck's up with that? And he goes, honestly, this album's been in the works for 5 years. He goes, I've been recording this album for 5 years. So it's not like he just recorded it and then dropped it. It said it's been a project he's been working on for a long time. And he said the timing is a little bit weird because I just dropped Anchovies, but he's like, this was the right time to drop it. So that's kind of what happened there. But yeah, they had him on there because it was kind of celebrating 20 years in the game, you know, a Planet Asia's name since, you know, 98, 97, 98, you know, to present, right? So, but yeah, no, he's had an insane career, man. The Cali Agents record was really dope too. It's one that people should check out. Shit. So,
yeah. All right. Anyway, moving on.
Jay.
Yeah, there's your Planet Asia portion of the show, everybody. But,
Yep.
I didn't expect that coming into this show, but we got it.
We got it.
Coming in at number 9, I have Everlast, Sick Jacket, and Divine Styler hooking up for their new project, War Porn.
Nice.
And I know Moods introduced me into this, so I was like, shit, man. When I first listened to this, I was like, this is Divine Styler's producing this shit?
I know, right?
Man, and it's so good to hear Everlast back on the mic doing this type of stuff, man. It's great.
He sounds so good too, especially.
Oh, yeah.
If we had
sounds so together.
If we had a
And
fucking, sorry to cut you off, but if we had a, an award show for the most shocking record of the year, I think War Porn's got to do it.
Yeah.
Because first of all, Divine Styler has been doing very oddball music, instrumental, kind of experimental shit for years. He hasn't been doing the stuff that he was in like the later 80s, early 90s with Ryan Syndicate stuff. But like,
Right.
Yeah, so this was a huge shock. I mean, for 2 reasons. Actually, in my opinion, 3 reasons. One, Divine Styler doing hip hop beats again. That was, and just to hear the name Divine Styler was insane to me. Everlast, I shouldn't say reinvented. Everlast has always been dope, in my opinion, but this is like a new motivated Everlast, like drop the guitar, pick up the fucking mic, blow your fucking head off with some extremely dope rhymes.
Yeah.
Like he came at you full force. And thirdly, Jay actually liking Sick Jacket on a record. Because my opinion, I fucking love Sick Jacket.
Yeah. You definitely love Sick Jacket.
I
was always kind of iffy on Sick Jacket, but with this album, man, it's like he's definitely made me a fan of what he's doing right now. Anyway.
Yeah.
This album is crazy with all the crazy samples and shit, and it is technically a mixtape, I guess, because they couldn't clear all the samples, so they put it out as a mixtape. And hopefully in the future, though, they put out a project together that's released as a normal album type of style.
Yeah, they literally had to label it as a mixtape and just put it out for free because, I mean, dude, could you imagine what it would have cost to actually drop that record?
My
clearing
God.
all those samples. I mean, it would have broke all 3 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Everlast is a fucking multimillionaire. I mean, come on here. I mean, they were sampling some big shit, man, from like Zeppelin to like, I couldn't even imagine what it would have cost to clear that shit, man.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting because, for the people out there listening that haven't heard the record or the mixtape, it doesn't play out like your typical mixtape. It actually plays like a full album. They just had to call it. I mean, there's no interludes, there's no bullshit. It's just it's top to bottom. I think 11 tracks or whatever, and it's
they have some great features on it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Really good. Actually, really interesting features, to be honest. I mean, what's the song? Keep Your Distance with Big Daddy Kane's on there.
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane.
Song with Big Daddy Kane on there, man. Be Real's on there. I think Vinny Paz.
Yeah.
From Dilated People.
Oh, yeah, Rocket Science, yeah. Oh, Terminology's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a great album, I thought.
Really, really good album. Yeah, good shit, man. But yeah, that Divine Styler production, that's I can't wait, and I really do hope that they drop like it's something official in the future.
Yeah.
And here's another example. This album right here, 11 tracks, runs 38 minutes long.
Yep.
But then again, I think
they do have physical copies actually of this that were available at their shows. So they did do live shows of this album, believe it or not, and they did sell physical copies at the shows, which if you get lucky, you can still find it online for sale or maybe at their site. But I know at the shows that they had, they did sell this because one of my buddies went. He said he copped one. So very, very hard to find, though. Very rare otherwise.
Are they CDRs? Or they actually,
I'm not sure.
They actually press them?
I'm not sure. I think they weren't real. They were just like, I believe they were like professionally made CDRs and like the little paper sleeves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still,
So
man. I mean, even to have one of those, I mean, you actually physically went to the show, got a physical copy and shit. That's fucking dope, man.
Yep.
It did have official artwork on the CD, so pretty cool.
Nice.
I mean, really,
Cool, yeah.
Put this into perspective. How many people can say, I mean, a lot of people can say they've seen Everlast recently in concert, probably even Sick Jackin', but how many people can say, I went and seen Divine Styler?
Yeah.
Not many.
Because, I mean, when you really put this into perspective, how many shows do you think Divine Styler's done in like the last 15 years before they did this? Do you think he was touring with that, like, that electronic instrumental, whatever the fuck that shit was? What do you even call that?
Yeah, it's just
experimental,
I don't know,
weird,
abstract.
Music,
type
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it was funny when this came out, when I put on Twitter as like, holy shit, like Divine Styler, these are like beats are fire. And then he retweeted it and I looked at his Twitter and I have more followers than he does.
dude,
it's like, that is crazy, man. I'm just some average dude and it's fucking Divine Styler and he has like 400 followers or something.
dude, that's fucked, man. It's Divine Styler is responsible for like Everlast's career and shit. Like, I don't think a lot of, I honestly think a lot of people don't realize who Divine Styler is.
No, I mean, he's like, you know, nobody really know. I don't know. It's just, it's crazy when you think about stuff like that, man.
Yeah, man. That is, dude, that blew my shitter out, man. You got more followers than Divine Styler?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck? I'm like, I'm actually speechless right now. That's so sad. That's so fucking sad, man. I mean, not to disrespect you or anything, but I'm just saying it's Divine Styler.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's ridiculous.
That's fucked, man. Shit, man. Yeah, honestly, Tom, I had no idea that they were touring. I didn't know they were doing shows and shit. That's fucking cool, man.
It's cool, right?
Because I know that they recorded that shit like a cohesive record. They didn't just like send files off through the internet and stuff. They sat in a studio and actually recorded the shit together.
Yeah.
Which we all know is not, you know, it doesn't happen very often in today's world because it's just so easy to, here's a beat, you know, send me your vocals over and I'll put you on a track and stuff. I mean, people pay you to do verses for records, but, you know, you're usually not recording with the other artist. And that's one thing I liked about the Perestroika record is that they recorded that shit together.
Yeah.
You know, OC and Apathy sat down and did their shit together and worked it out. So, and sometimes you can tell. Sometimes you can really tell. You know, so... But yeah, so Jason, number 9, that was War Porn. Is it War Porn or War Porn Industries?
War Porn Industries, I've seen. Yeah.
Because if you go to the website, I think it does say War Porn Industries, and I think that's what their crew is called, War Porn Industries, and then the album is called War Porn.
Yeah, perhaps that's what it is.
Yeah. Because my buddy ripped me the CD. It was War Porn Industries and War Porn, because I wanted to see the artwork. So it says War Porn Industries on the cover, aka Everlasting Jack and Divine Styler. Then album name is just War Porn Industries as well. So.
Yeah, it's been listed a bunch of ways. I've even seen it listed as Everlast War Porn. So I mean,
so I think the mixtape just came out as like Everlast War Porn or something. So yeah. But anyway, go check it out regardless, because it's and so. Yeah, and let me just say before we move on, because we're not going to talk about this anymore. I take it that was my number 7 as well. So,
all right, cool.
So I doubt, because I just wanted to say that, because I doubt we're gonna talk about it again, because we've said enough about it. So, yeah,
nice. All right, Moots, what do you have for number 8?
All right, so coming in at number 8 here, we've got Jazz Spastics with Midnight Method. This is a record, man, that I randomly came across. And I believe it was through Bandcamp. I think I was looking up something and I just, you know, clicking away. Checked out a track and like really, really dug it. It feels like that. It kind of feels like early 90s stuff in a sense. I really don't know how to describe it. Like I don't know. How would you describe it, Jay? It's like, I feel like it has that kind of like that early 90s type feel to it.
Yeah, it's... yeah, I guess you could say that, but I don't know.
This track, Follow the Leader, man. Oh, dude, as soon as I heard it, I just like fell in love with the samples that were used on it. The way they chopped it up.
I actually thought you would have this higher on your list because you were all about this. I remember you messaged me one day and it's like, you got to check this album out. And I put it on. I looked it up right away and I started listening to it. But yeah, I thought you would have this like in your top 5 or something.
Yeah,
this is the Scratch and Sniff record, right?
Scratch and Sniff is the instrumental record that they did this year too. Which one was this? This is called this one's called Midnight Method. It's Jazz Spastics and Mellow So Black.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear this one.
Yeah, this one actually has vocals. Scratch and Sniff is just what instrumental record, right?
Right.
Yeah, so this one's the vocals and stuff, and it's really cool, man. It's just got like this really kind of chill, mellow, kind of early '90s vibe to it. Not really the best lyricist in the world, but at the same time, I think for myself, it's fun music. It really does put a smile on my face when I listen to it, because the beats are kind of fresh, and it's just an interesting vibe throughout the record. And it's, again, another really... it's got 14 tracks on it, runs 38 minutes. I don't know what the fuck's up with 38 fucking minutes this year.
Yeah, man, it's all over the place. 38 minutes.
It's a quick listen, but I like the samples. I like the soul that was put into this, and, just another, Bandcamp underground indie group that, is pressing up their shit. It's pretty damn cool, man. Right. But yeah, dude, I mean, you can actually, their stuff is actually hard. I think I tried to look up some stuff. Some of the instrumental stuff is on YouTube and shit, but like this I think they might have blocked all of it or something. You can't really find anything, which is kind of weird, which is kind of strange. You think you'd want to actually have it on there, but yeah, Jazz Spastics. You never heard this one, Tom? You just heard the Scratch and Sniff? Oh shit.
I only heard Scratch and Sniff. Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing.
What did you think of that instrumental record?
I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I'm just trying to think of a way to describe the album, because you were asking me how I would describe it. It's like, I don't know. It's like kind of playful, kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Were they similar to Scratch and Sniff, the instrumentals on that one?
No. It's different.
No?
Yeah.
Different? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was like a purely instrumental, like turntable kind of record where, like scratching cool cut and paste samples and stuff. So
yeah, that's kind of like, I mean, the instrumentals are a little bit like that on here. A lot of known samples, like vocal samples and chopped up shit that you'll recognize. If you're a hip hop enthusiast, and I like that, man. It's kind of fun, and it's not hard lyrics and shit like that. It almost kind of reminds me of like maybe People Under the Stairs a little bit. How their shit's kind of fun. They're always talking about partying and shit like that, and it's not so much a party record. It's straight up like early 90s kind of hip hop. It almost has that immaturity feel to it. Not like the very first, Far Side record where it just feels completely immature, kind of thing. But it has that kind of vibe to it, man. It's just one of those records that you put on, you'll have fun with it. It's a quick listen, and it was refreshing to hear something like that. It came out, and it was funny because when I first heard the record, I was like, "There's no way this is from." I thought it was older too. I thought it was actually an older record, and I was like, "Oh no, that came out in 2017." I'm like, "Damn, cool." Bonus. So Jazz Spastics, Midnight Method, and of course they also dropped the Scratch and Sniff record, which I believe Luke Menace actually had on his top projects of the year. I think he might have had both these on there. I'm pretty sure he did, actually. So yeah, with Mellow Soul Black. So give that a shot. Really enjoyed that stuff. And at number 8. So Tom, your number 8 was War Porn, right?
Yep, War Porn.
What's your favorite song off War Porn?
Ooh, big question. Probably.
I thought you said that was number 7.
No, I'm sorry. It was number 8. The same shirt.
Okay. Okay, right on.
I think I just interpreted that's what he meant. So
yeah. No, I did say number 7, but I didn't want to interrupt you, so I did mean number 8. I don't know. I kind of like the self-titled song with Be Real. I think it's called War Porn Industries.
Yeah, it is.
Industry.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Dazed and Confused. The track with Terminology was pretty cool. Signs of Healing. Yeah, probably those. Big Daddy Kane. All the ones with features were pretty damn cool. But even though like Preach with just fucking Everlast and Sick Jacket was definitely one of my. I think really is that the second track? Yeah, the second track. Wait, no, third track. I'm sorry.
Track. Yeah.
Third track. Yep. I would have to say that was my favorite. If we're going with no features, that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. Man,
it's hard. They're all fucking great tracks. How are you gonna? There's a bad track on here.
I was going to say we're naming just about all of them here.
You know what fucking War Porn did with this mixtape? They made a greatest hits album.
It really is. It's that fucking good.
It's the first greatest hits mixtape of all time.
All time. Yeah, ever made.
Oh shit. Yeah, dude, I absolutely adore Be Real's verse on War Porn Industry, man. Be Real fucking murders that shit, man. Yeah. Murders it. So
probably that. Yeah, those two are probably my favorites if I had to pick.
Yeah.
Excellent fucking project. Yeah, definitely. I wish that we get more from these guys because this is fan-fucking-tastic. I hope that fucking we get more projects from these guys. They turn this into like an actual group or an actual like I don't know, just a fucking collective of musicians or something because that would work out fucking great for them. I believe all shows were fucking sold out, which is not that surprising, you know. And of course, people won't want to see them. So, yeah.
You know, when people talk about, or you know, you always see those lists of people talking about like super groups and shit like that. Well, this to us is a major super group.
Yeah.
You know, like these are some established people that just in the shit. I mean, it's crazy how many people I showed this to this year that had no idea this even came out. Yep. I mean, we're talking fucking Everlast, man.
Yeah.
Right? This is crazy. I can see people not hearing about Sick Jack and maybe Divine Style. We've talked about that. But this is fucking Everlast, man.
Yeah, and this did come out totally under the radar. There, like, no one that I asked about this knew about this either. No one, aside from you guys and, like, the fucking one or two other friends of mine that are actually into, like, hip-hop, you know, like, deep into it. No one else knew about it. It's crazy, yeah.
I agree, man. This shit just flew. And I showed it to... Everyone I showed it to really enjoyed it. They're just like, wow, man. Why don't they press it up? And I said, they can't press it up, man. You know?
It's crazy. It came out back in February. And I think I listened to it every month since it came out. So,
dude, this dropped in February?
Came out originally back in February is when it dropped. Yep.
Holy shit, dude. Yeah, wow. That was a heavy rotation.
Yeah, that was a long-ass time ago because I remember when you mentioned it on one of the shows we did. And I checked it out that night and I was like, holy shit, this is great.
I think it might have been the first episode.
Might have been.
It was either the first or second episode that we did of the show. Wow, crazy. Well, I mean, this being right at the end of January, so this has practically been out for a year.
Yeah.
That's funny. Good shit.
Yep. And number 8, I have, this is a surprise for me, but I had MC8, Which Way is West.
Wow, man. You know, I'm very excited that you like that album, man, because...
Oh, man, I loved it. I love this album. I played this a lot. Man, it's good shit.
Okay, let me ask you something. I know that you said in the past, like, you're not the biggest MC8 fan. Like, do you like... Or,
I've always liked MC8.
Okay, so... Was it, you know, it's an interesting thing, man, with Frank Sinatra doing the beats on here and shit. Like, I think it was like a totally fresh sound for MC8. Because remember when I told you to check out those mixtapes that they had done together? There was some pretty good stuff on there and shit. And but yeah, man, I wasn't expecting the album to be like this much fire.
Yeah. It's like there's not really a song on there that I really say is weak. Yeah. And I mean, the 3 songs that DJ Premier did are all good as well. So yeah, top to bottom, man, it's just a really solid album.
I agree, man. I agree.
West Coast shit with some East Coast flavor.
It is, man. It was just like, you know, I actually ended up getting a physical copy of this too. I was very excited. Yeah, well, so I was down at my buddy's shop and we were talking. He's like, I want a physical copy of this, but the shipping's like fucking. It was $15 for one seat. Like the album was $10, I think, on there, and the shipping was $15. It was like, what? So so we're sitting there bullshitting. And I said, well, because he's got a couple distributors that distribute it to his shop too, and they weren't carrying it. They couldn't get it. And I was like, well, the only place to really get it is that Primo store. It was like the only place, and I really don't understand why, because. You know, you think with a household name like MC8 and a, you know, household name like Primo, your shit would be more accessible. You know, you could probably pick it up at some underground hip hop, you know, but you couldn't. This was like the hardest album to get a hold of. It was insane. So I said to him, I said, well, go to the website. Let's put in 2 copies and we'll see what the shipping is. It turned out the shipping was $16 for 2 copies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
So it turned out 8 a piece. We split the price and it ended up costing me whatever it was. And I was like, well, it was way better than paying, you know, $35 after the, you know, and shit like that. So ended up getting a copy. Awesome. I'm very happy for that. But very uplifting record. I was just shocked by this year, man. Primo working with MC8. I mean, we got, you know, this amazing verse from the Lady of Rage, who rips this fucking verse on Heart Cold. And I've always been a really big fan of Rage, because the thing I've always liked about Lady of Rage that people seem to tend to forget, of course, she was part of Death Row Records, and that's how she got her, you know, her fame. But she's actually originally from Philly, so she has like kind of this East to Midwest kind of, you know, style and flow and shit like that. So she was always a little bit more lyrical and shit. And when the Lady of Rage put out her first record, well, actually the only record that Death Row ever dropped, which was actually it was delayed a couple years too, right? You know, after all that Death Row went to, that album was supposed to come out a couple years prior, I believe. But I liked it because she had like Easy Mo B production on there. You know, she had that East Coast flavor and shit. So I love this I love this collabo, man. I think her verse is awesome, and I actually heard that she recorded this verse in her neighbor's garage.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. She got the call. I guess A wanted to work with her or whatever, and then she's like, "Okay, I'll rip this verse, send it over," and she ripped it in her fucking neighbor's garage.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Good shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah, with that, I posted in our group there. I said, it's like I don't like female MCs, but once in a while I'll make an exception, and this was definitely an exception.
I always look at Rage as like kind of one of the guys because she doesn't have that shitty ass like, a lot of female MCs just have. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but a lot of them do have that kind of like raspy, like annoying, over the top female voice, and you're just like, shut the fuck up. But Rage kind of raps normal. She's just kind of one of the dudes.
I mean, her name's Lady of Rage. That's what you're getting. Come on.
Yeah. Plus, it does help that she's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
some
definitely.
pretty good rhymes. So,
yeah.
But, wow, man, MC, I'm very, very shocked to hear you have that on there. That's fucking cool, man.
Nice. Yeah. I love this album.
Really cool stuff. So that was your number
8.
That was number 8. Yeah.
Wait, number 8, number 7.
No, that was Jay's number. He was last. So coming in at number 7 for myself is Mayhem Loren and DJ Muggs, Gems from the Equinox. Man, I came way the fuck up on this record this year. I think when we reviewed it, I was like, I dug it. I really enjoyed it. But man, I found myself listening to this album over and over and over again. I just couldn't get enough of it, man. I really ended up digging the shit out of this album. I think it might have sounded like when we reviewed it that I wasn't the biggest Mayhem Loren fan. I mean, I have lots of Mayhem Loren records and shit. I've always, liked him and stuff. And I think it's pretty interesting, too. Actually, going back to fucking Take It Personal, they recently had an interview with Mayhem Loren on there, too. I didn't realize that he's been friends with Action Bronson for as long as he was. They've been friends since they were, like, in elementary school.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I was like, that's really interesting because now it kind of makes sense with, Mayhem Loren always talking about food because these guys grew up fucking eating. That's what they do. These guys are they just share a love for food. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous, man. And it was a really entertaining interview. And I learned a lot about Mayhem Loren too. And actually, I learned something that I still can't even get over. I was shaking my head. I was listening to the interview as I'm flying to Vegas last week. And no shit, man, I took my headphones off and I said to the wife, I was like, what the fuck? This is insane. Mayhem Loren has something, what did he say, over 800 pieces of polo clothing? Because he always talks about polo in his songs.
Yeah.
And so they asked him, they're like, man, you always talk about polo in your songs and shit. Like, how many pieces of polo clothing do you have? He's like, something like 800. I'm like, what? I took my headphones. I was like, this motherfucker has 800 pieces of polo clothing, man. The shit that you hear in interviews just boom, blew my shit out. I was like, that is so fun. I'm like, he literally wears polo every day. That's all he wears.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. So that's kind of a quirky thing about Mayhem Loren, but what a down to earth cat though, man. Really, really down to earth cat. Like, he is nothing what you expect, man. Like he's kind of a little bit opposite to Action. Like, Action Bronson, like, he smokes a lot of fucking weed, does a lot of shit. Mayhem Loren, man, does his shit straight. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. He doesn't get all blazed up. He likes to keep a fucking head, and it was pretty cool, man. So they did something I've never seen before in an interview. So they're interviewing Mayhem Loren, and he's doing this backstage. He puts the fucking phone in his pocket, keeps the speaker on, and goes out and rocks a fucking song. So during the interview, they can hear him, and they're talking. They're like, man, this is fucking crazy. It's like being at the show, man. He's out there, rips the song, and comes back and finishes the interview. All in one motion. Super cool stuff, man. But yeah, really, really dig it, man. I love Muggs' production on the record. After multiple listens, everything works about this album. It really does, man. The features, we got Rock Marciano, Action Bronson, of course, Conway, Mr. Motherfucking Esquire, rest in peace to Sean Price, Hologram, Benny the Butcher, B Real's on there and shit like that. But we got some bangers, man. I mean, the deluxe edition has 2 more songs, but this edition, or the version that we reviewed, it only runs 33 minutes long. It's a short record.
It's a definitely short one.
But it's very pleasing though, man. Again, it was another record that I think that was liked universally. The amount of people I showed it to this year, like, wow, that's some heavy hitting shit right there. So, I actually learned something about the album cover too. So one of the singles I think was Street Religion. I think this one was. Yeah. So the first single, was supposed to have this artwork, right? And this was the Street Religion artwork for the 12-inch that they were going to drop. And but the artwork for the album, they were kind of comparing them like, man, the 12-inch is way better than the fucking the actual artwork. So they just completely changed it up, and they used the 12-inch artwork as the album artwork. So I thought that was kind of cool. But
yeah,
that's why it just has the picture. There's no writing, nothing. But,
yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool album cover.
I like it, man. It's memorable. You kind of remember it. You know, it's
exactly.
Jesus holding some Uzis. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yep.
Gold it up, but yeah, dude, I fucking Red Rum and Murder Rap, man. Those tracks just get me fucking amped, dude.
Yeah, they're bangers for sure.
That's some DJ Muggs right there, man. Fucking good shit.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
So that is in at number 7. Tom, your number 7?
My number 7 was Earl Droog.
Oh no, you're on to number 6 now.
Number 6. I'm sorry, number 6.
That's a mess.
My number 6 was Earl Droog with PAX. Obviously, another one that we mentioned on the show a little bit. I think we all enjoy this one, right? From what I remember.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, really cool. Obviously, guy that stole Nas's voice. That's what he's known for. Other than that, yeah, fantastic rapper, really cool. Nice to have a nice, fresh, dope MC out of New York who can actually spit very, very well. I love the production on this album. I know not everyone loved some of the production choices, especially the one that had kind of like I don't even know how to describe it, man, like a weird loop kind of Egyptian sample or something. I think it was called Bangladesh.
Yeah.
I love that that track, that little loop there. But yeah, a lot of kind of, once again, kind of sparser production from what I remember. Some interesting samples too, for sure. I think like what's his name? Frank Zappa. He used the Frank Zappa sample on there, so not a lot of people doing that these days.
True that.
Definitely some great punchline tracks, kind of like definitely maybe reminiscent of what's his name, Big L. At least the kind of his punchline style rap there. Definitely a character for sure. Great tracks though, great fucking tracks on here. I fucking closed the track list on myself, but Winston Red, Winston, I think it's called Winston Red, the last track on the album, which I didn't fucking, I don't know why I didn't love the first time around when we reviewed it, but I fucking came around big on that one. I love that track. That's probably my favorite now.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite track.
Yeah, the track Help with E-Don and Wiki, fantastic. I just love E-Don though, so good.
Such a unique song from this year. That beat, dude. Really crazy.
Yeah, that beat's chaos.
And the cool little interludes on this album really kind of helped it move along. Not enough people do like kind of skits or interludes in their records, so I think that really kind of helped the whole, overall of the album. But yeah, cool themes throughout, and I would really recommend it. Go check out Earl Droog. I'm sure you guys all heard it, but
yeah, if you're gonna put like minor skits into your record, man, make them like 7-8 seconds long, like they are in here. They just kind of
like this.
They don't break up the flow of the record at all.
Yeah, and this is really cool as well. It's like Anthony Jeselnik is playing the part of like a radio DJ basically throughout the album. So it's really cool.
It
idea.
gives it a theme feel, right? It feels like you're spinning your old Droog's record on this fucking station, and this is what you're getting.
Right.
It's very cool.
Done so well. Yeah, done so well. So just brings me back to that, that time of like Timberland boots in New York fucking style and all that shit. So
it's a grimy record, man.
It's definitely grimy. Yeah, you guys know what it is, that grimy hip hop. So that's what it brings me back to, and more fucking nostalgia, I guess. But he does it well. He does it very, very well. You can't take that away from him. Being a dude from Russia, I think he's from Ukraine or Russia.
Yeah.
Came here when he was a young kid, fell in love with hip hop, and just fucking did it. Surprised the shit out of everyone, pretty much. So.
Yeah, Droog's one of my current favorite MCs, and that's why Pax is my number 7 on the list.
Ooh,
it's your number 7. Wow,
yeah,
cool. Well, so you guys have this. Okay, yeah. So I think we fucked up there. Yeah. So that was Tom's number 7 too, right?
It was supposed to be number 7, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. I was getting ahead of myself. I was looking at my list, going, okay, yeah, but so that was. Oh wow. So that was your number 7 also. Your old Droog. What was your favorite song off the track? Or, again, another album. 14 tracks, 42 minutes. Right around that same timestamp. It's interesting.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was noticing this with almost every album that I have on the list. They're right in that ballpark.
Very strange, man. Very, very strange. Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, albums have gotten a lot shorter. I mean, there was a time period in like the early 90s when albums seemed to be about 45 minutes long. Then there was a period in the mid 90s where everybody's albums were like 60, 65 minutes long because they just let that beat run on. Like the albums got really long for a bunch of years. And then kind of in this, this internet world and stuff where people can just pump out shit like crazy. But albums have gotten shorter, but it may probably in a good way though. Because they're kind of putting like the best material on these things, and they're condensing them down to like a cohesive record. They're not like running it on like a Cameron record who has like 24 fucking tracks and like 16 skits, and you're like, fuck, it takes all day to listen to an album. Yeah. If you're going to listen to a Cameron, I'm just using an example because that guy has the longest albums ever. Every one of his.
I always find it funny where people put a time frame on, if they're getting their money's worth out of an album. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like if an album's 30 minutes long and I love it, I'm good with that. It's 10 songs, 3-minute songs, whatever. I'm good with that.
My one buddy there, man, he used to say if an album wasn't over 30 minutes, it was just an EP to him.
Yeah, well,
so I mean, in a sense, right? I mean, 30 minutes is pretty short. It doesn't mean it can't be good. And generally, I mean, look at Illmatic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The album doesn't have that many tracks on it. I think it probably runs about 40 minutes though. Not overall a long record, but it's still fucking amazing. So, But yeah, so that was your number 7 or number 7.
7. Yep, 7.
That's right. So starting on number 6 is here. We are going to go back to one that has been mentioned in MC8's "Which Way Is West." Yeah. Nice. I love this album, man. It was, again, I was expecting good things after hearing those mixtapes with Frank Sinatra. And what I got here, I mean, the only thing that I'm disappointed about this album, though, is hearing, okay, I've always mentioned this. I've mentioned this hundreds of times. I don't like to hear someone else's voice as the first voice on someone's record. So a feature. Yeah. So on the very first song, "Shut 'Em Down," you get to hear the Outlaws on there. But it always bugs me. It's like this weird quirky thing. I want to hear MC8 first before a feature. That was my only minor complaint about this record. I mean, maybe a little bit too many features. Because I personally love MC8, but I think the more you listen to, you don't even really notice. There's just some really great stuff on here. Big Mike's on here, Big fucking Mike. Where the fuck's Big Mike been?
It's been forever since I heard that name. Holy shit!
I know, right? And but that's what just blew my mind, though, man. It was like Lady of Rage. Where has she been forever? Big Mike. I don't know how these things came, these collabos came about, but I'm glad they did. Even Exhibit making a fucking appearance on the record too.
Exhibit was pretty solid first on there. Yeah,
where's Exhibit been besides pimping out people's cars and shit? Right? What the fuck is Exhibit? And making, I guess, his last bunch of albums have been pretty shitty, but that's one thing about Exhibit, though, that's always kind of bugged me, is that the dude's got some pretty raw talent on the mic, and he doesn't really make the greatest records anymore.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's definitely fallen off.
Fallen off big time, man. But yeah, MC8, man, "Which Way Is West?" Looking forward to part 2, which I think officially got... I think it got announced actually by MC8 just the other day. So "Which Way Is West" part 2 is coming out in 2018. So that's something to look forward to right there. I'm fucking excited. I'm excited.
So is it the same type of lineup with Frank Sinatra doing the production or Premier in there?
I believe so. As far as I know, Frank Sinatra is going to be involved. I think MC8 and Frank Sinatra are kind of a thing now.
Yeah.
It's that yin and yang, that black and white thing. Because Frank Sinatra is actually he's like an Italian producer, right? Yeah. Again, man, going to fucking Europe for these producers.
Europeans, man.
This is what's happening this year. This is what's happening. I got 3 European white producers on my fucking list.
Yep.
Wow. Blowing my shitter out, man. It's crazy.
You'll have to go and get a European car after this in tribute of them.
I can't afford a European car, man. Jesus. But yeah, man, so that's MC8 number 6. Tom, you're number 6.
Oh, man. My number 6 is nice collaboration of a dude from Boston and a dude from the DC area.
Oh, yeah.
Incite the Truncator and Damu the Fudge Monk.
Nice.
Spears. I knew I was going to fucking mess that name up, that fucking album.
Now, this might be a little bit controversial. Some people are like, no, that motherfucker was recorded like way long time ago. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Who cares? It's brand new to us.
It came out, and it was released in 2017. That's how we decided we're going to do this. That's how I'm doing my list. You don't like it? Make your own list and fuck off.
Is Tom getting hostile here?
No, because people always say that bullshit. They're like, well, it has to be 2017. I'm like, nah, dude. People like, you know how it is. People get so anal if their favorite album isn't on your list.
I think there could be a cutoff here, man. I mean, we're not including like, you know, Raw Breed's official release from like 96.
Right.
You know, I think there's a statute of limitations here a little bit. I mean, this is an album that really didn't have the light of day at all. You know, I mean, if people didn't know, or if it was never, you know, announced that, you know, this was previously recorded material, I don't think a lot of people would even have recognized that. I mean, I wouldn't have, because remember, I didn't even know. I'm listening to the record, I thought it was brand new, like, you know, Y Society shit.
Well, that's the thing. If you hear these two, I mean, their styles aren't going to change that much. They're pretty similar styles today, is what, you know, that album sounds like.
That's what they do. They do that style, and I think that's why it completely counts. It's good shit.
And they do that style so well, and they go together so well. You know, they're both producers, actually, even though Damu produced most of this. Excuse me. And also, I mean, I love this about this album too. There's actual scratching on it. There's actual scratching on the hip hop album, which is just so fantastic because I haven't heard that in forever. But once again, just sample heavy, kind of smooth type of beats, and just more boom bap goodness. You know, even though the beats can be considered maybe a little bit more old school, I guess some of them have that sound, but you know, the fucking lyrical content is definitely up to date. Talking about all sorts of stuff from fucking like corruption in the government to race, religion, you know, just whatever crappy fucking USA bullshit that.
Yeah, those kind of topics are basically timeless anyway.
Right, exactly. So, and these guys, like I said before, these guys work so well together. Just Damu is just one of those dudes that just he just makes his beats are so good, they're so smooth, and they work well with, like, I guess most MCs, you know, that I've heard over his beats. They just sound great. He can like work well, make a beat for anyone, and it'll work. Now, I don't know if that's Damu or if it's just if he crafts their beats specifically for that MC, or if he makes the beats beforehand and then he just, I don't know specifically, but most of the time it's just really smooth and it just works well. So,
man, like,
it definitely works.
Political rhymes are always like timeless and shit, man. Like, remember that shit, man? What are you doing in the White House if you're not selling cocaine? Ask your wife, Nancy Reagan. I know she'll spit that game. Like, one night she came to my house and gave me a blowjob. She licked my dick up and down like it was corn on the cob. Fucking Too Short, man.
Bringing out the too short rhymes here.
I every time I think of like political, I always think of that Nancy Reagan one, because she's like licked my dick like it was corn on the cob. It's like still one of the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Cuss words, man.
Fantastic.
One thing I will say is I did leave this album off of my list just because it was older. I mean, it's just a choice I made. It's not, you know, it's Tom's list. It's my list.
Fair enough.
You know.
Yeah.
But I definitely love this album, though. It's definitely
I was reading through the forums. Album. I was reading through the forums, and people were just like, "You can't have Damu and Insight on that shit's old." There was a lot of fucking yelling going on, man. A lot of yelling.
Funny.
Yeah, I read that too. That's why I was like, I'm putting it on my list. Fuck those guys. I do what I want.
Yeah, I don't understand why people get so bent out of shape with stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, that's funny.
I think it's just hilarious too. I just laugh at them.
And also, before we move on to my pick, I just want to say, you know, a shout out to Insight, because he actually reviewed our review of their album when we put it out. So I thought that was really nice of him to do that.
Yeah, that was actually a big shock. And totally gave us props on it, too. He's like, wow. Because didn't he say something along the lines of, like, he doesn't really care when people kind of critique his stuff, but then he actually listened to what we had to say, and he's like, oh, that's actually really interesting. It made him think about the album. So I was like, wow, that's pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I saw he did review other reviews as well, and none of them got as high a grade as we did. We got the perfect score.
Wow. So we nailed it.
We did.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yep.
Nice.
And my number 6 is Heavy Metal Kings with Black God, White Devil.
Damn, I'm really wow. Surprised this is on your list.
I'm kind of surprised to hear it's on your list too. But
I
cool.
was as well, man. But for some reason, I just kept listening to this album. It's a fun listen. It's good beats, hard rhymes. I just kept it in the car for weeks and weeks. I just keep listening to it.
Yeah,
it's definitely great driving music, right? I definitely put this on a lot when I was driving, especially when it first came out. It was definitely a heavy rotation during a lot of my longer drives. So for sure,
it is perfect if you're like in a very kind of easy moment. Like if you're just driving from point A to point B and you're like not in a rush, but as a courier, when you have to battle traffic and you're always fucking screaming at people and shit. Listen to angry like heavy metal king stuff, man. Will set you the fuck off, man. It's just too hype, man, for me.
Yeah, it just brings your level up another notch.
It does, man. But man,
one more step closer to the edge.
It's so true. It's so true, man. But yeah, it's top to bottom, just a bunch of bangers on there, man. So many good beats, and and I was definitely I like this one a lot more than the first one that they put out. I think this one was a little more cohesive, and it felt raw, man. Vinny's just, man, I don't know, man. It's something about his style, but Ill Bill actually, they complemented each other really well in this record, but, they got
Vinny, and they have Gore-Tex as the new member, apparently, because he's featured on almost every track.
That was going to be my next question. Is it official that Gore-Tex is part of the group? Because he's like on more than half the album.
Yeah, I haven't heard it's official, but I mean, like you said, he's on almost, I think he's not on, maybe 3 tracks or something like that.
Something like that, man. I mean, they should. I mean, at that point, why even put feature Gore-Tex on a track?
Yeah.
Just have Gore-Tex part of the group. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is a great album by them. It's definitely better than the first one, I thought.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I agree. All right, so getting into top five stuff right here. So coming in number 5 for myself has been mentioned, and that's Your Old Droog. An album that I had on constant play this year, man. I bumped the living shit out of this one, top to bottom. It's one of those albums that every time I put on, I have to listen to the whole thing. The only blip in this record is Danny Brown's shitty verse on Grandma Hips, man. Fuck, is that shit out of... Like, I mean, you listen to this album 100 times. Every single time after you're done listening to the album, you'll be like, that damn Danny Brown verse.
Man, you hate Danny Brown so much. I
find it so out of whack, too, on the record. Like, it just sounds out of place, too. I mean, Danny Brown seems to have gotten crazier with time. Like, I don't remember him being as insane with his voice and just craziness than he is now. I mean, I will admit, Danny Brown's kind of funny. He is entertaining, especially his videos are kind of entertaining to watch, like that Married to Children one that he did or whatever. That shit was funny. But, I mean, I can't get into... I mean, I'm a voice person, too, and Danny Brown is just doesn't got it for me, but that's kind of like the one little blip on the record for me. But I love the cohesiveness. I like how it has that, that concept feel to it, that radio feel. Very unique beats. And Your Old Droog is... kind of like this generation's Nas in a sense with his voice and shit, and he's entertaining throughout an album. I swear I find something new every single time I listen to the record too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it is, but it's just one of those albums, man. It's short, sweet, to the point, and it's dope, man. Really, really dope. And it came with a book of matches. It says packs on it.
Cool.
So cool. So
if only Danny Brown had used his inside voice, it would have been a lot better.
Stop yelling.
Well, he has like the 2 different personas. Like he does have his normal, low voice. Like on that album he put out there a couple years ago, he has half of it in that way, and then half in his voice. But if he had did that, it would have made more sense on a Your Old Droog album.
I gotta go back and listen to the Black and Brown album. Was he insane on that album he did with Black Milk?
Yeah, not as much. Lately he's been really amping it up. Like pretty much every feature he does is in the high crazy voice.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my number 5. Your old Droog with Pax. Tom,
Nice.
number 4.
Number 4
or number 5.
Number 5.
Dude, I keep looking at the next number. I can't keep track of numbers.
All right. Anyway, my number 5 is Mood's. Oh, one of Mood's favorite. I don't want to say his favorite MCs, but one of his favorite MCs of all time for sure. It's your OC, Same Sun, Same Moon.
Nice.
Which came out at the beginning of 2017. Once again, I think January. I think it was February as well. A lot of good albums dropping in February, apparently.
Yeah.
So another one, fantastic. Definitely a veteran MC from the DITC crew, coming back to drop a fucking banger, in my opinion. Definitely hasn't lost a fucking step along the way, man. He sounds so good. 2 projects with OC this year, obviously. One also with Apathy as well, which we mentioned earlier in the show. But this is a solo project. I think 12 tracks on here. I never have anything open when I need to.
14.
I think there's
14.
12 tracks on here. 14 tracks. Okay, 14 tracks. I don't remember the runtime off the top of my head, but I don't remember it being overly long as well. You guys know how long it is? I think it was about the same, right? About like 40 something minutes. I want to say
41.
Yeah, 40
with the 2 bonus tracks. When we reviewed this album, I think we did the 12, but there is an extension. There was. I think I think the CD version. No, we've reviewed the vinyl version, which has 12. The CD has 14.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. So, but the whole 14 tracks runs about 41 minutes. So again, it's in that realm of 38 to 42 type thing.
Right. In that realm. And once again, very minimal features on this one. Well, you got AG. Who else was on here? I don't remember off the top of my head. I know there was like only a couple features.
David Bars, Majestic Gage.
Okay, yeah. So these guys, probably dudes that I wouldn't even know if I, bumped over into them in the street, right?
Yeah.
But it was great. They were good from what I remember. They were fantastic. But obviously, the star of the show here is OC, and a pretty damn good production lineup too, from Showbiz, and I think Showbiz executively produced this as well. Because when I was reading about it, I remember OC saying that him and Showbiz made a lot of the decisions together as to how this album would go. So, definitely in that DITC classic kind of New York sound, though. What he's definitely known for, kind of fresh, but still boom bap to the fullest, and touching on everything from obviously the economy of the U.S. to just being a man to just straight up street shit. So everything that we love from OC, in my opinion. Fantastic. So I love the minimal features and the kind of great runtime. This album, just for me, it just runs right through. One of those that I listen to from start to finish, and I don't even notice that it's done. I look up on the end, so I fucking love it, though. Nice. I love it. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, this album kind of dropped off the radar for me. I remember when we first listened to it and reviewed it, I was all about it, but yeah, it just kind of dropped off for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, the first half of the year, man, it was like on constant rotation, but then, when the second half of the year picked up, it was due to the fact of, having, listening to new albums too, right? And I still listen to it throughout the year and still really, really enjoy the record too. That's actually kind of interesting that this is on your list. Well, it's not interesting it's on the list, but it's the second album that actually just officially got a sequel. So there's a part 2 of this album coming out too. Along with MC8's Which Way Is West, which is really cool. So we're getting sequels to these albums that are on our top 10 list in 2018. Who knows, we might even have sequels on the year-end show.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
like you said, going again to back to the fact that I didn't listen to a lot of albums. I did bump this, throughout the year. So once again, it maybe something else would have knocked it out, but I just like this so much it ended up didn't getting knocked out. So
yeah.
The one that I heard afterwards just didn't touch this, and it's motherfucking OC. You know, you can't,
it's a deep record. I mean, it's a deep record. If you start reading into lyrics and actually following what he's saying and stuff, it's, for me, you know, after you decipher all the songs and stuff, and because I listened to it quite a bit, and for me, it became a mood album. I needed to be really mellow and just kind of chill and listen. I mean, it is a very chill record and stuff, right? So,
yeah.
You know, and, you know, most of this year I haven't been able to relax. So it's just been like a go type year. And I think stuff like Heavy Metal Kings has been like keeping me fucking just amped up and stuff. But no, it's honestly a really great album. I think OC did a fantastic job. But he's a very consistent artist. He really is, you know.
For sure.
Kind of underrated in that aspect. People don't, you know, when you think of like DITC and stuff, people always think of Big L and, you know, and those cats. But I mean, OC he's been that cat that's been around since day one and still going, you know.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Yeah, and like you said, like for you, it's a mellow album. That's why you weren't able to like fully get with it. For me, it helped mellow me out when I listened to it, because I had a pretty hectic, crazy with work and stuff. You guys don't know, I work overnight, usually graveyard shift most of the time. Not so much anymore, but it's what I was doing. So yeah, this definitely helped, you know, kind of mellow me out when I was stressed out and stuff. I was able to chill, put this album by myself when I was working. So luckily I get to work from home, so which was cool.
Nice.
And yeah, it just helped mellow me out a lot when I had just stress bullshit fucking going on. So that's what actually helped me. So that's why I enjoyed it. So kind of interesting there.
Yeah, it's always great when an album can do that for you. It's pretty special, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it was kind of higher on my list as opposed to some of the other stuff. So
I found myself listening to a lot of the Damu projects, you know, instrumental records that came out. Like he put out like 3 or 4 albums this year or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy,
Vignettes.
but Vignettes actually was one that, you know, if I just needed to like really, really calm down, should I put that shit on, and it just works. It really does. It puts you into like a new place, and you're just like, oh yeah, I can chill to that shit. So
yeah, same for me. That was like in my top 15 for sure. If we made like a top 20, that would be in there. It's like a fucking 2-hour long record, but the whole thing is just fantastic all the way through.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
And that OC album didn't make my list, but this one did. It's with his buddy Apathy, Perestroika. Nice. Man, this album kind of blew me away, really, like with the concept and everything. I know we did a review on it, but after that, I just kept listening to it, and it's just, man, it's really stuck with me.
Yeah, I feel that. I love this album too, man. I thought this was fucking one of my favorites for sure. I've always been a huge fan of Apathy.
Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite thing Apathy's ever done.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Really?
This is definitely up there for me, but it's not my favorite. But it's definitely, I can see that it's definitely one of my favorites, especially recently. He's kind of had some hit and miss projects. So recently, yeah, this is definitely my favorite thing that he's done recently.
Yeah.
And he definitely outshined. I'm sorry, everyone disagrees, but he definitely outshined OC on this for sure.
Yeah.
Like he definitely came to fucking rap, and he definitely fucking rapped. He showed that he can keep up with some of the best of them, and fucking.
Maybe that's why I liked Apathy on this so much, is because going, you know, back to back with OC, and I'm always thinking, man, Apathy's killing this. Like, holy shit.
And he did. Kill it, he did.
Definitely did.
I think that's kind of the general consensus here. I've had this conversation with a few different people, and they all, you know, as being OC fans like myself, I mean, I agree. I think Apathy did a little bit of the outshining on this album. And, you know, that's coming from a massive, massive OC fan.
Yeah. Hearing that from you is, you know, that really tells you right there how much Apathy stepped up on this.
Yeah.
And this would be another great one if we're talking sequels. Man, I'd love to hear these two pair up again and go do some more of the back and forth rhymes, you know, because this one they didn't really do that there was one track they did, but yeah, man, if they get back together and spend some time and go back and forth on rhymes, man, that'd be freaking killer.
Oh, I think it would just be like giving me goosebumps right now even thinking about that. That'd be fucking awesome. And you know, it's funny because I think they were like 360 was actually alluding to in the interview, like, is there going to be another Perestroika album? I don't think that Apathy really knows. Right? I think it might have been a project of the time,
Yeah.
But who knows? He might just be withholding information too, because I mean, a lot of these guys don't like to talk about things that may or may not materialize, because they don't want to they don't want to put the info out there and, you know, kind of be misleading and shit. Oh yeah, for sure, we're putting this out. It's like fucking, you know, hearing Pete Rock and Primo talk about this collabo record that's been coming out for fucking 45 years. Like,
yeah,
are we ever gonna...
them or like Rock Marciano and Kaz album? It's like, where the hell is this shit, right?
Well, it's funny because like I was listening to this interview that Luke was doing with Pete Rock. I think it was from 2015. And he said 100% the album's coming out in 2016. Here we are in beginning of 2018, and I haven't heard a lick of shit coming out from this Pete Rock and Primo record. So,
yeah, that happens too often.
I don't think that shit's ever coming out. Actually, as a matter of fact, pretty much everything that Pete Rock talked about in that interview has not dropped.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked. It's kind of fucked. Now, when I think back on it,
so much damn weed. That's it. All the
he
damn
probably
weed.
he probably forgot what he was talking about. He's like, "Oh shit, I didn't bring that up on the show, man. There's no way." Yeah, man, I have to agree though. This is one of my more favorite projects from Apathy in a long time. I mean, I really, really dug Honky Kong, man. I love that record. It's a fun album. A lot of cool features. A lot of cool. You know, just funny beats. Like I just Honky Kong right from the album title was just funny as hell to me, man. But I still think Eastern Philosophy though is probably. I mean, I'm not saying it's better than Perestroika, but Eastern Philosophy is always that album that I always go back to. Yeah, you know, listen. I think that one really fucking bangs, man. That's when he was on Baby Grande. Remember Baby Grande back in the day?
Baby Grande.
Yeah, Baby Grande. Yeah.
Baby Grande.
Putting the French accent on.
Totally, man. Where the fuck's that shit coming from? There's no goddamn French people in the West. I've never met a French person out here. You're Baby Grande.
You got the European influence, the French going on. Like, what the hell's going on today, man?
Good love. Oh man, what the fuck is going on, man? Well, I mean, hence the Eastern Philosophy.
Yeah,
this shit's all coming full circle, man. But you know what I'm really, I mean, Apathy and Self-Titled, I mean, they should do like another full-blown record together too. I mean, I think they put out one last year, I believe, or something. I think it was like a limited, it might have been like a tour album or something.
Yeah, it was like their tour album.
Yeah. But like, I mean, another album like No Place Like Chrome. I'd like to see what they would do now, because I mean, their sound has evolved since, you know, 2006 when they put out No Place Like Chrome record. And I would love to see, or love to hear an album from them today. I mean, Self-Titled he's one of those dudes, man. Like, where the fuck does he go?
Yeah, he's on like the Vanderslice work rate, man. It's
like he, I mean, he was that guy that would work with everybody in the industry for so long, put out that 4-disc fucking catalog thing, and then did the record with Buckwild and stuff. But like, you haven't heard, he doesn't even do features anymore, it seems like.
Can you imagine if Self-Titled and Vanderslice hooked up to make a record? Like,
shit would never drop. It would
be like 20 years in the making.
Yeah.
Right?
But you know, man, I think Apathy, I mean, Self-Titled needs somebody like Apathy to motivate him, I think, though, because Apathy is obviously motivated. I mean, he's very consistent. He's always doing something. I mean, if you look at his discography, it's ridiculous. And, you know, in the last 13, 14 years, he's been pretty consistent. So, but maybe that's what Self-Titled needs, just a little kick in the ass. Or he needs some to go and dust off some 90s beats, man. Maybe Buckwild's got some more shit in the vault or something. I don't know.
I swear probably Self-Titled's just sitting around making up ideas for fucking t-shirts, because that's all you see on his website or whatever. It's like selling all these clever little t-shirts, you know. It's like,
it's so true. It's so true.
It's like, just put out some damn music, Self-Titled. Come on, man.
Well, the irony is half those shirts are probably punchlines from his songs that he's done over the years.
Yeah.
They are. They're all like song names or album names or parts. Yeah, like punchlines. They are. So.
It's like Walmarts and stuff like that. You know, it's like grenades and shit on t-shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right, so moving into the top 4 here, I also have Perestroika, number 4.
Perestroika.
I can't talk. I can't do it.
You got to get the Russian accent on this one.
Perestroika. I can't. You know what?
Perestroika.
I'm really, really bad. That's one thing I've never been able to do in my life is accents. Like, if you ask me to do an accent, I'm like, no, man, I'll pass.
Other than French.
Other than French, yeah. Which is so ironic, though. But man, read from Live from the Iron Curtain, man. You know, read down to what it's all about. the first 11 songs of this record are so cohesive. And then we have this oddball song, Globetrotters, at the end with Just Cuz, which I still feel is just so beyond strange on this album.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of blip on the record for me, I think. I mean, I guess there's a reason why it was put 12th, or, put as the last track on the album. But, again, what a great concept record. And Apathy and OC do a great job. I agree. Apathy's, outshine OC. I mean, it is saying a lot though too, because OC is really good on the record. I think Apathy he 11'd him. He turned it up to a volume 11. He Spinal Tap that shit, man. So, yeah, dude, it's awesome. I mean, I was just talking about how Self-Titled he's not really doing features and shit like that, but he's actually featured on this record. Go figure. But it's cool though. It's cool because the album feels like you get a lot of Apathy and OC, and that's what I wanted to hear. I would have loved to hear them go back and forth Run DMC style, because I think it just would have been so fucking entertaining and awesome. Maybe they'll do it on the project if they have one coming out in the future. We don't know, but just such a great record, man. So Apathy pretty much produced the whole record. He didn't, we talked about this in a review, but Moss actually produced the first single, Soviet Official. Yeah, which is still, to me, is so weird. Like when somebody produced the whole record, and you got one other producer on the record, and he's got the lead single. It's like, damn, it's
a damn good beat, though.
It is, man. It is. But Perestroika, and we talked about this record enough, but that is my number 4. Awesome album. Copped it on CD and vinyl.
Ooh, doubling up.
I did.
Doubling up on that one.
Yeah.
Well, following up with my friends here, Moods and Jason, my number 4 was also Perestroika, coincidentally enough. Which, I have nothing more to add, man. I basically said everything I had to say about fantastic record. Just we all. I mean, it was all pretty high on our list, top 5. So we all loved it, obviously.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, great record. We need a part 2. Apathy OC, if you're listening to this, we need a part 2. This was fucking fantastic. So
I wonder what they would do for a part, like to do a sequel. Do you do a sequel with the same type of concept, or do you just? I don't know what the fuck you do.
I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. You should think about what they can do. Maybe
that would be pretty cool if they did release like a series of concept albums, like totally different topics every time.
Right. Like different.
Yeah, Apathy and OC, because technically the group, I get Perestroika, it's titled the same, right? So they go and they take like another kind of weird regime type thing, or just do a concept of something else. I mean, and totally name it something different. Actually, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah. The fucking what was the regime in was it in Thailand? I completely blank on his name, but there was a fucking crazy dictator in Thailand for all those years that fucking took over and did crazy shit like that. You're like, there's so many different ways you can go with this.
Oh, there's
so many, big time.
Nutcase fucking war leaders out there that
do it on North Korea.
Yeah.
Fucking have Dennis Rodman do a feature.
There it is. I don't, man. If you put Dennis Rodman on some shit, that's some gimmicky ass shit right there. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Apathy and OC aren't really the most gimmicky MCs out there. Could you imagine? You see Dennis Rodman's name, you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Dennis Rodman pleading the case for Korea, it's like
exactly, man.
They love basketball. Come on,
fucking Dennis Rodman's insane.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's dyed his fucking hair one too many times, man. That shit seeped into his brain.
To his brain, yeah. Totally. Yeah, so that's what I had for number 4, fucking great record.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perestroika. So, what are we at?
Number 4. So my number 4 is a member of Clear Soul Forces, Novelist, with Kenjutsu Under the Moonlight.
Wow.
Ooh, I haven't heard this one. I am not familiar with this record.
Oh, man. If you want to have something to listen to chill to, Tom, because it's all new job is production. It's basically his tribute to him. He's his favorite producer, so he did this as a tribute to him. And also, it's 2 of his friends passed away, so it's an emotional record, but it's super super chill, and I love this thing.
Nice. It sounds really cool. I'm definitely interested to check it out.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, please do so, because I think you'll really enjoy it. I mean, you like Clear Soul Forces as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so Novelist is probably like the premier member of that group, and he's doing a lot of solo stuff. So, but this is a really short. It's really short. It's only like, I think it's around 33 minutes. So, yeah, it's on his Bandcamp. So definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, I haven't heard this one, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. It seemed like it kind of like, was this like a physical release or like a major release? Because
he does have physical copies on his Bandcamp, so you can buy a physical if you want to.
What's the name? What's the name of it again?
Yeah, what's the name of it?
Kenjutsu, Kenjutsu, Under the Moonlight. So basically, like sword fighting under the moonlight.
Okay, yeah, I saw this get mentioned earlier. I didn't check it out though.
Yeah.
So I was always curious what happened if after they did that gold PP9 or PP7 record, whatever it's called. It seemed like he just dropped off. I haven't heard anything from him, so I'm definitely
they put an album out after that.
Yeah, but I haven't heard it though.
Oh, didn't you? Okay.
Yeah, so
it's really good.
Was it?
Yep.
Cool. I got to check that out too. Then I'm way behind.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't think a lot of people have heard of this. So if you haven't and you like that style of production, like the laid back jazzy production, Novelist kills it on the rhymes. So definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, because the Clear Soul Force's last record came out in 2015, which was Fab 5.
Yep.
Which was good. I mean, yeah, their records so far are really good, man. Detroit Revolutions, Gold PP7s, and Fab 5, like, all pretty good stuff.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite groups for sure.
Yeah, when Detroit Revolutions came out, man, I was just raging over that one. That was fucking, that was flames, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shit, man. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to check that out, man. Totally missed that one.
Yeah.
But that's the way it goes, man. All right, so top three coming in here. My pick for number 3 is War Porn Industries with the War Porn mixtape. This shit was just on constant rotation all year. Like it just always seemed to be one of those albums I would just go back to, listen to the shit out of it. We've talked about this one enough, but it's just everything works for me. The beats, the samples, the features, man. Just Everlast just fucking murders the shit. Sick Jackin', Divine Styler. Everyone's like Divine Styler, even back on the microphone. It's like insane, man. it's so cool, man. But I mean, I think War Porn has been talked to death.
Yeah.
So, but that's my number 3, man. War Porn. It's there because it just had so much replay value this year. And I love it. I love it, man. I really wish that, someone would just maybe some European country will press it up like they always seem to have these legal bootleg, these really good looking bootlegs. What's that company that put out the 9 record? Was it Smoke On Records? They put out the...
Yeah,
I think it was Smoke On Records. They put out 9. Yeah. And I those aren't really... I mean, they actually acquired the rights to those and shit, but there's a few European countries that always seem to drop those really nice looking bootlegs. Maybe we'll get one for War Porn. That'd be cool. But
the unofficial copy.
Yes, exactly. So that's my number 3.
Nice. All right, so moving into my top 3 here. My number 3, I have... Well, actually, let me just say, I actually had that originally when I first made up my list. That was my number 2 record, was War Porn. But that was when I first started listing stuff off, that was the second album I wrote down. So it stayed at number 2 for a while too, but it moved down quite a bit. Anyway, I have, I don't know if you guys heard this one, Milo, Who Told You to Think?
Yep.
Yeah.
A West Coast rapper. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone's going to like Milo or the whole Hellfire Club. I love it. It takes me right back to kind of my namesake and that whole late 90s, early 2000s Anticon sound. Even though he doesn't sound like those guys, but same kind of feeling that I get when listening to this. Same type of passion in his fucking lyrics and the stuff he's rapping about. Produced by himself under an alter ego, which is classic fucking Anticon style fucking stuff that they do. And just I don't know, just huge nods to Madlib, The Roots, fucking all sorts of stuff in his water. I mean, his water in his fucking his music. Holy shit! I am so tired right now. Yeah, but fantastic record. fucking nerd references in here. Fucking great wordplay. Obviously, sample beats. Very kind of layered and like rich beats too. Have you guys heard this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually listened to this quite a bit. I really enjoyed it as well.
Nice. Yeah. So, what do you guys think?
I need to listen to it more, to be honest. I listened to it a little bit ago, and again, just kind of got lost in the mix of stuff. I did like it though. I did like it. I got to revisit it though.
Cool. Yeah,
like I said, this was close to making my top 10, but it got bumped off.
Yeah. Like I said, it definitely just brings me back to that like late 90s, early 2000s kind of underground, when underground hip hop was actually,
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. It's definitely along those lines of the old Anticon type stuff. Yeah.
So I don't think I need to explain anymore why I love that. My namesake. So yeah, that's it. Who told you to think on Hellfire Club from out of California? So nice. What you got?
My number 3 is one of my top 3 MCs with Rock Marciano, Rosebud's Revenge.
Nice.
It's another album that we did a review on earlier in the year, and man, I just keep playing this over and over. I pick things up every time I listen to it. It's Rock Marciano. It's like I love the guy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
Marciano.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just waiting for you to say this. I was hoping it was gonna be on your list, but I would be surprised if it wasn't on your list. So
yeah. I mean, it is something that I've listened to throughout the year. Like I said, it's got a lot of replay value. Definitely could have been made. It could have been my number 1, but
that was my pick for your number 1. So if we were doing the
I could see that.
Yeah,
I think you're going to be really surprised with my number 1, actually.
So yeah, Rock Marciano.
Yeah, I think we talked about Rock Marciano quite a bit. Before.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to say. It's you know what Rock Marciano does. Some people love it, like myself. Some people hate it. So
yep.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you definitely get those people that are pretty outspoken about Marciano being super overrated. They don't get the no drums thing. Just everything about it. It's just like they don't get the production. So I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe like a Kendrick Lamar. I mean, the contrast is like Kendrick Lamar. I mean, some people really like him and get him and shit, and others just don't.
Yeah.
It's love or hate type thing. So, all right. So getting in here into the top 2, number 2 for me. Oh my god! Insight and Damu with Ears Hear Spears. I actually got that out. Nice.
Damn.
Nice.
I fucking all year, ever since the shit came out, man. I rocked this like. It seems like every few days, it's always in the deck or on the table because I bought the CD and vinyl. So I'll be rolling around listening to it. Come home and listen. I just love this album. The whole arrangement of it, we obviously review this thing, but it just never gets old to me. It's got a great pace to it, and it's just a fun record, man. And that's what, hip hop's supposed to be about. Good lyricism and funness, and this one has it all for me, man. It really does.
Yeah, it covers a lot of ground, really.
It does, man, and 11 tracks, 43 minutes. Reading that timestamp again, which is very, very strange. I just can't believe these records, but yeah, man. Ears Hear Spears, Insight and Damu, aka Y Society, in at number 2.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, so my number 2 was Uncommon NASA, Written at Night.
Wow.
Have you guys heard this one?
Yeah.
I
didn't see that coming from you at all.
I'm a little bit shocked by this too, actually. Wow.
Blown away.
Holy crap.
I don't know why you guys would be shocked about this. I mean, I think it's pretty... Yeah, I don't know why you'd be shocked. I'm a big fan of Uncommon NASA. I mean, he's pretty reminiscent of, like, he was on Def Jux back in the day, and this is pretty reminiscent of that at times. At least to me. Not
that you're a fan of him, it's just that you had it this high on the list.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that. You know why? Probably because I don't actually. You know what? I don't know. It just one that I enjoyed quite a bit. It just stuck with me all the way through. I played the shit out of it, and it's one that I never wanted to turn off. Another one I could play all the way through without getting sick of. And one of those albums which just doesn't happen to me all the time. I hear something new every time I hear it. The record is like so atmospheric. it's good for, I know this isn't for everyone, but I could put this on at any time of the day.
Yeah.
And it'll be good for me. You know, even though it's made to be like, it's called Written at Night. It's meant to be listened to at night, what happens during the night, you know, all the craziness and cacophony and stuff that happened before the sun comes up. But, yeah, that's kind of what I got out of it. But I love all the features on here. Basically, every song has a feature other than 2, I believe. All the features do their thing. Guilty Simpson, Open Mike Eagle, who else was on? King Casimir, Bronze Nazareth, who I'm usually not too big a fan of, but pretty good on this. Oh No. Yeah, filled with features. Mike Ladd. I believe all the features... Actually, you know what? I don't know. I want to say all the features did all their stuff in person, but I'm not sure about that. I want to say I read that somewhere, but I'm not. Don't hold me to that.
Huh. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So fucking produced by Uncommon NASA himself. Obviously, keeps that central theme going all the way through. So I loved it. Billy Woods was on here as well.
Yep.
Well, Chris. Yeah, fantastic. I love Uncommon NASA. Like I said, one of the reasons I love this was that it kind of brought me back to that Def Jux days, which that was like kind of my golden age of hip hop for me. Obviously not the golden age, but like my personal golden age. The kind of early 2000s Def Jux sound that I really fell in love with. Hip hop kind of got a reboot of hip hop around that time. Kind of start after everything started going to shit around like the early 2000s. Yeah, this is one that kind of kept the goodness going. And yeah, this brought me right back to that place. So fantastic lyricism. And
so kind of along the same lines of Milo, like, you know, it brought you back to that time frame.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. That's cool.
So, nice.
Yeah. So that's
I'm gonna have to give this one a full attention. I know you guys had mentioned this. I think both you guys mentioned this in the chat throughout the year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I need to give it some full attention. I think I might have scanned through it and.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's your thing or not, Moods, really, but
I think that's what happened. I might have been listening and I scanned through it, and I remember. I think I might have checked out the song with Guilty on it or something. I can't remember. It's been a while. This one came out I don't know when it came out. Mid-year, something like that. It was a while ago.
I think it was definitely during the summer, like late summer. I want to say August, September.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you would fully love this. It's definitely not the typical stuff, obviously, that we've been naming off. But you know what kind of music Uncommon NASA.
For sure.
You've heard it before. So.
Yep.
So that was my number 2, Uncommon NASA, Written at Night.
Go.
Shocked and surprised.
My number 1 is gonna go completely the other way. So you guys are gonna be asked. It's gonna be a huge left turn from that one. So.
I was thinking there's one other, when you just mentioned a feature that was on that, Billy Woods. I was thinking his album would probably be up in this range for you, because I know you're a pretty big Billy Woods fan.
You know what? It was close, but for some reason I didn't get around to listening to that album until very late into the year. Okay. I was like, I didn't have enough time to sit with that album as long as I wanted to. Like, I just heard it like not even a month. Like
I didn't even check it out. Shit.
Yeah, because I didn't know about it. Like, the album is called Known Unknowns. And
it was unknown.
It was called Known Unknown for good reason.
I actually listened to it quite a bit. It almost made my list as well. That's one that I really liked a lot.
Yeah, that was a really, really good one, too. I love that track with Aesop Rock on there. Anyway, I'm getting on a...
Sandman.
Yeah, getting on a tangent. So that's what I got. Uncommon NASA that night.
Nice. And my number 2, rest in peace, Sean P. Sean Price with Imperious Rex.
Ooh, yeah.
This is by far my favorite Sean Price album.
Really? You like this more than Mike Tyson?
Oh yeah. Love this. Oh. Like all the beats are pretty powerful, banging beats. Like, even though his voice did sound a little bit different on this, and it's kind of sad to, it's the last thing he's gonna ever put out, but man, I really, really love this album.
You can tell, man. Like, he was just so beyond fucked up, it came out good. But like, there is songs on here. I mean,
the one song there, he has like the 3 lyrical P's is Prodigy's on that song, man. It's like, Jesus.
I know, that's a fucking sad ass track, man, and it's dope too, man.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, definitely. Like, it's just, oh man. I know, like, Dude, could you imagine that record?
Ooh.
Lyrical Peas, man, by Prodigy, Sean P, and Styles P.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Dude, that would have made a really cool record, man. I think that, oh, man.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's kind of making me sad just talking about it, really. But, I mean,
it really does.
I really, really like this album a lot.
mm-hmm.
Just a banger. Sean P style, you know what he does. It's like, it's entertaining as hell.
I agree.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with Sean Price for sure. Rest in peace. He will be missed.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right, so moving on to my number one favorite album of the year, without question, hands down, Sean Price, Imperious Rex.
Nice.
I listen to this like nonstop. This album is so crisp, man. The production is so good, man. I mean, even Sean Price, you can tell that he was muffling his words a little bit at times. They even mixed his vocals actually quite well in this record. It's so like you say, it's so fucking sad, man. I mean, this isn't as bad as like that mixtape type thing that came out last year.
Yeah,
that shit, man. Which with all those kind of like short mixtape type tracks on there, man. You can hear the muffle in his voice, and it's sad. It's like he's dying while he's rapping, man.
Yeah,
it's really, really fucking sad. Like, but this one's a little bit more crisp. But like, I love all the features on it, man. Like, Definition of a God is like probably my favorite song of the year. I mean, when we first got on Skype here tonight, first thing I did was bumping fucking Definition of God. I love that.
As soon as you put that on, I was thinking, is this going to be his number one? Is this is this foreshadowing here?
I thought maybe you might think that too, and I was like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. But man, dude, like so many dope, like Prodigy, Styles P, man, Clans and Cliques, man, going back to like the Helter Skelter. Clans, Crews, Posses, and Click, I think is what it was. But this guy, Smith & Wesson, Rock, Method Man, Raekwon, Inspected Deck, and Foul Monday. Man, you got MF Doom on here, Buckshot and General Steel. Of course, man, Rusty Jucks. Even his wife, Bernadette Price, making a couple appearances on here. Which was kind of interesting. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool when she did the hook on Dead or Alive.
Yeah, that was shocking. I was like, Bernadette Price. I'm like, what the fuck?
Cool. She sounds like she can rap, man.
She can actually. I don't know where it came. Maybe I don't know if she did it for the record, or I don't know how that whole. I would actually like to know the story why she's on here, because she's never done anything before, did she? Or am I just mistaken?
I don't think so. I'm not aware of it if she did.
Okay.
Not sure.
Because I'm thinking maybe she might have done the hook for Dead or Alive because they didn't have anything for it. He had the verses and maybe nothing in there, and she just stepped in and did it. I don't know.
It's a possibility.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. But overall, a very, very impressive last outing by Sean Price. I know there's still some songs that have been recorded since that have not come out. I think, oddly enough, going back to Vanderslice actually has a track that he did with Sean Price that has, I think he might have released it as a single, but it's going to be on his forthcoming album. So you'll get some new Sean Price then. So he's talking about that. And he actually has a track, I believe, with Prodigy too. So
crazy.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, you're going to hear some verses in the near future of these passed away MCs. But yeah, man, Sean Price, Imperious Rex, like what a great final outing for him. It's just fantastic done stuff, and it's going to be on replay for a long time. I love it.
Yeah, for me as well.
Yeah, and it comes in this like the CD digibook thing. Oh, it's fantastic. It's like a hardcover book. It's got like picture gallery, all the notes and shit. It's a great little setup. So, but yeah, that's my number one. Tom, number one album of the year.
Sure, all that fucking sadness make me feel bad about not having Sean Price number one.
Okay, well, I guess it's not your number one.
It's not my number one. Can you guys guess what my number one is? Any guesses?
I actually have no idea. Like, I just don't even have a clue. I thought it was going to be the Damu record, but
that's what I thought as well.
No, there's another record that came out that I've played nonstop. I literally play this record every single day since it's come out. Well, multiple times a day, even sometimes. When I got in my car this morning, it was playing, coincidentally. So, Cunning Linguists, Rose, not Najano. I am butchering that name. like crazy. But yeah, Cunnilinguist, in my opinion, can do no wrong.
I actually should have known that. And Cunnilinguist, that album was right on my cutoff too. It was one of the albums that was in my top 10 for a while. It got bumped. Yeah. Mind you, a lot of albums kind of came and went for my list. Heavy Metal Kings was another one and stuff. But we'll get into honorable mentions. But yeah, I should have thought. I should have known Cunnilinguist, man. The fuck.
It might have gotten bumped, like I said, if I listened to more projects. But obviously, I don't think this one would have. It's been my number one since it came out. Yeah, fucking fantastic. No, Deacon the Villain. If you guys don't know Cunnilinguist and you're listening to this, please go check out any of their music. But this one's great. Another kind of
it's very soulful.
So basically, very, very soulful. Very soulful.
That's why I listened to it a couple of times initially, because we were going to actually review this on a show. Yeah. And I don't know, I just put it away. I was like, I don't know, I'm not feeling this album. And I thought maybe it's just the mood I was in at the time. So I listened to it again. And I was like, it's just too, like you said, it's soulful. It's maybe too much soul for me.
Maybe it was too much for you. Yeah, maybe you just weren't in that mind frame at the time.
Yeah, it is definitely something I could see me listening to in a certain frame of mind and certain mood. But yeah, I don't know. I just put it away and didn't really bring it back out that often.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a concept album. For you guys that haven't heard it, it's about a girl named Rose, obviously, who going through life, and she has I don't even know how to it's hard to describe, but she has a disease called chromathesthesia. It's kind of where like you hear sounds and you hear colors and you see sounds, kind of like where you like every time you hear something, you automatically think of a color when you hear a certain sound. It's really hard to explain. You guys have to go like read about it. I'm probably describing it just horrendously, but
makes sense.
So it's a really, really cool concept about that, and just obviously about her struggles and about just black music. And it's so amazing. I just love it. They're so on fire and fucking, I don't know, it's just so good. I just can't say enough good things about it. As you can hear, I don't know what the fuck to say about it because it's so damn good. So much I want to say, but it's gonna fucking take me.
Sometimes you don't need to say a lot, right?
In a sense, though, it's almost like a little bit depressing. The record. Yeah. I mean, but then again, the music it complements the content very well. Because it's very slow and kind of melodic, and it kind of sets the mood for what they're talking about. And it's kind of funny, actually, because I went to my buddy's house, a few weeks back, and I showed up at his house, and he had this album on. And I was like, dude, that's some really not great party music, man. And he just started laughing. He's like, yeah, because he's a huge Cunnilinguist fan. Like, fucking diehard Cunnilinguist fan. And so it didn't surprise me he was playing it, but, and I was like, it's not really... the most best music. Everyone's just kind of all somber and shit. I'm like, dude, put on some fucking Blue Sky Black Death or something. What the fuck, man?
Listen to the story. It's not a very happy story at all. It ends rather sad. So
it does. Yeah, it's a very depressing album.
Yeah, it's one of those albums you would think you'd listen to in headphones by yourself, type of thing, and take it all in.
It really is. It's almost like watching a movie, but you're listening to it. Yeah. Which is kind of the theme of it a little bit, right? It's kind of cool. That's interesting.
The shit is so damn good. I love listening to it while I'm driving, especially at night, because it's just so fucking. It just works so well while you're driving at night. The street lights, especially like when it's raining a little bit, it just fucking. It just sets the mood so well for that kind of somber sort of night, even if you don't want to think about death that particular night. But
it's perfect road trip stuff. If you were driving at night on the highway, just to listen to this, because it would kind of make you focus, right? You just kind of kind of dials you in a little bit. Yeah.
But it's obviously you have to listen to the lyrics too to get the whole story. It took me multiple listens to actually see what the fuck is going on. Then I had to go read about a couple tracks because I still didn't fucking understand it fully. So
yeah.
But yeah, fantastic. So that's what I had. Cunnilinguist. They're one of my favorite groups of all time, if not my favorite group, probably. So that's that.
Good shit, man. Jay, number 1 of 2017.
Man, this is an album that I've been obsessed with. It's kind of a cinematic feel to me every time I listen to it. It's Husk Kingpin and Big Ghost with Cocaine Beach.
Wow. Yeah. It's dope, man.
Yeah, man. It's the beats, man. Like Big Ghost, definitely the whole feel of this, like from the start, it's almost like, it's kind of a uplifting type of beat at the start. It's like almost like if you were taking coke at the first, you know, you're hyped up, it's nice. Then it just goes down, man. It's like, oh man, such a great album.
Yeah, I was pissed, man. I went to go order this on fucking Bandcamp because they had limited press. It was fucking gonzos, man. I was like, shit. Weird.
Yeah, and I've looked at this so many times, like trying to find a copy of it, and it's like CDs are like $100.
Right.
Come on.
I know, dude. Weak sauce.
But yeah, every feature on this fits really well. I thought, like, there's no weak spots on it. Again, this is like a really short album. It's a 37-minute album, like all the other ones have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this, man. Every time I listen to it, it just like it takes me into a different mind frame. It's like cinematic to me. It's like you're watching a movie.
Yeah, it really is. This is one album I actually have heard this year, and I completely agree. It is like a fucking movie, straight up fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah,
cinematic.
These motherfuckers are going for crazy money. The CD's like cheapest one is $97 on Discogs, and the vinyl cheapest one is like $100.
Yeah, it's insane.
This is fucking brand new.
So this is my favorite album of the year, but I'm stuck, like, you know, with the digital because there's no way. I mean, it was a free download. Like Big Ghost had it on his website as a free download, and it's on SoundCloud if you want to check it out. But yeah, there's no way I'm paying $100 for an album. I don't care how goddamn good it is.
No, that's crazy. And you know, and actually, this album even has a dude that I told you to check out Crime Apple earlier in the year. Yeah, it's got Crime Apple on there and shit, man. I fucking like Crime Apple. We should press up some of his stuff, man. It's really mellow, kind of on that level and shit. And fucking cool shit, though, man. This album has Qbert on it, man. DJ Qbert.
Yes. Yeah, that scratch outro, man. It's killer.
I know. I was like blown away by it. I was like, man, where the fuck has Qbert been, man? That's awesome.
And like Huss Kingpin, if you're unfamiliar, he kind of has a style like Rock Marciano. Kind of has the same. I mean, they're both from Hempstead. Like they definitely influenced. They did work together before.
Sure. 100%.
Yeah. This
was like Rock Marciano on the dopest like beat selection you could put him on, basically. So if Rock Marciano had been on this, it would have just blown my fucking head off, man.
It had, you know, honestly, the album had a lot of good features on it. I mean, it had Smooth, right? Like Smooth. I like that dude, man. It had Willie the Kid.
Vinny Paz, man. Vinny Paz on 3 The God Way. That was, man. He killed that.
Planet Asia, a name we've talked about many times. The Rosewood, which had a really cool project last year, I believe. Was it the Rosewood? Yeah, it was really good last year. Milano was on here. Great features, man. Great album. Kind of forgot about it when I was doing my list. To be honest.
I've listened to this album so many times. It's like, because it is short as well. Like that helps. Like I'll just put it on and listen to it a couple times, and it's like, ooh, man, it's good.
Do you know when this came out, Jason?
It was like around summertime, maybe around June or July, something like that. I think.
I thought it was okay.
When the digital came out was earlier. I think the hard copies came out later.
Was it?
It didn't come out till like October.
Yeah, this came out like earlier in the year, right? I want to say like the actual digital album.
I think 2 or 3 months before summertime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because when it dropped, it was like, whoa, shit, man, this shit's free. And then it was like, whoa, fucking, and then I think it was announced that like the physicals were coming soon, and they did. They came out a couple months later, so but gone in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
we're gone. Yeah. Now they're gone forever.
But, you know, I mean, that's good. I mean, people bought it. That's good.
Yeah.
So we get more music, so it's good shit.
People bought it just to resell it on eBay for $100 fucking dollars.
Yeah, motherfuckers, right?
But like I said, though, if anybody wants to check it out, it is free, and it's on SoundCloud. If you go to Big Ghost SoundCloud, and it's free.
You don't have to pay $100 if you don't want to, but if you're balling like Moneybags Moods, then he's gonna buy us.
I'm not paying $100 for no fucking fuck that shit.
Let's just all buy one and then just share it.
That's ridiculous, dude. That's ridiculous. Oh, really? So that's the top 10 list. Let's get into some honorable mentions. I mean, I got a few here that I just wanted to mention. BBC Darnie, D-Rev and U-Bang, Hunter's Moon. That was like in my top 10 for the longest time. Another great release from those three. It's very, it's based around, kind of like a fall thing, so it's like a very warm or kind of cool type feel to the record. Boom Bap, you guys are familiar with BBC Darnie. He's very, actually another European producer. Well, I guess not fully, I guess from Scandinavia, but another white guy from over there. It's crazy. Do you guys check out the record Hunter's Moon?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't give it a lot of listens. Like I thought this would probably be on your top 10 actually, but
I was surprised. Yeah, I know, man. I just couldn't fit any more than 10 in there. It was really frustrating, man. Because I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Of course, Jay mentioned Hex One. I loved the Hex One record, man. But another one that actually got bumped out of my top 10 was the Jensu Dean and Wise Intelligent record, Game of Death.
that's another one I thought you would have in your top 10.
Oh, I loved it, man. It was so good. I don't know how it didn't make the cut.
I was listening to that last night, trying to fit it in. I was like, man, no, it just couldn't happen. But
yeah,
I was listening to it fucking this morning, still trying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fucking
That's
considering I should fucking take out Rock Marciano or maybe even Apollo Brown and Rock Marciano and somehow fit it in there.
Yeah.
Plain Asia just fucking won one Wise Intelligent over. So sorry, Bucks.
Another one that really shocked me, because I remember when he dropped his first album a couple years ago, I didn't really give it much attention because I just couldn't get the dude looks like he should be playing with the Doors. Like, for real. Like, this guy looks like he's straight out of the 60s playing in a fucking white rock band or whatever. But that's John Wayne rap album too, man. This album was fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, I love this
album.
album.
Super dope. Like, if you saw this guy, actually, if you saw the album cover, you would just assume it was a rock record. Like, he is he's kind of an overweight white guy with, like, the 70s hair, beard, like he looks like he's fucking in a rock band. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's really authentic. It's very soulful. Yeah. He's good with the lyrics, man. I was like shocked by this dude, man. Very, very shocked. Very surprising. I'm surprised that none of us had M. Dot in their top 10, considering how much we did enjoy this. But that was another record that I got a lot of replay value throughout the year. I mean, there was a lot of great songs on there. Was a few misses, but we did highly, review it. We gave it some high regards and stuff. So that was another one that I really enjoyed. I don't know. I think people kind of forgot about the Ran Reed record. I enjoyed it for what it was. But I got to say, Blue in Exile in the beginning, that was another one that, it's older material. It was like Before the Heavens and stuff. But, man, I think it's just as good as fucking, Below the Heavens, man. It's got some good shit on there. Some really, really good records, or really good material and stuff. But that's a few that I had written down. What about you guys? Tom, what do you have for honorable mentions?
I had the couple that you mentioned there, definitely Gensu D and Wise Intelligent, Game of Death. I also had Nick Wiz, Cellar Sounds Volume 5, which I know I don't know if did we mention that in the show? I don't know if we did or not, but
yeah, I mentioned it. I think we mentioned it before.
I mean, if we had to pick an album that, like a throwback, release from 2000, I mean, that's got to be the record right there.
Right.
That was like the best.
Nick Wiz production, fucking, it's a fantastic comp of 90s hip-hop, golden age hip-hop, just fucking unfuckable right there. What else did I have on here? Yeah, I would have loved to check out Billy Woods some more, because when I did fucking hear it, finally, it was fucking fantastic. None of us fucking mentioned actually Prodigy's album. It's called Hegelian Dialect.
Yep.
You guys listen to that? It was pretty good. Yep. What else? Did you guys hear the fucking Binary Star record that came out this year? Waterworld 3?
No.
What?
Yeah, there was a new Binary Star record that came out this year, which, again, I fucking didn't hear until later on in the year, but...
Dude, I didn't
even
even know about that.
Yeah, I figured that. You guys probably missed that, because it almost flew underneath my radar until one of my buddies
Holy
that fucking...
shit.
His cousin grew up with Binary Star and those dudes. That's the only way that I fucking that I heard that. Yeah, he's from Detroit. I'm Pontiac. I'm sorry.
Crazy.
Yeah. What else did I have on here? So yeah, it's a pretty damn good record, as you probably imagine. Fucking Binary Star. So amazing. I think that's all I had. Oh, I had Elucid Valley of Grace, kind of more on the Uncommon NASA tip. That same style of hip hop right there, I thought was really good.
Yeah.
What else did I have? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, QL Chris. I don't know if you guys heard that. Being You was great. I wish I could be you more often.
Well, like Chris, Yep, it was good.
Yep.
Mellow music group, just kind of good, but
he's an interesting dude, man. Like his rhyme style, and it's just like a comedy show.
I think I gave it like one spin. I would have to check it out again. You know, I mean, really, anything that metal music group seems to put out is usually quality, so it's always worth a listen. So I'll give them more attention. They just put out a lot of material. They kind of do.
They do. And I just have a couple more here I want to mention. The guy that doesn't put out nearly enough projects, Mocha Only, Concert for One. I wish he would put out more.
Just not enough content.
Not enough. He doesn't have enough to say. So, again, his stuff is always quality, though. And then actually an instrumental record. I had a few on here, but the one I really want to talk about is Test One and DJ Day. Test One.
That's really nice. It's short though. So,
it's short. I think if it's like an EP I think it's like 8 tracks. So whatever, EP mini album. Now Frago, fucking fantastic, really chilled out hip hop tracks. What
was it called? I didn't hear that one. What was it called?
Oh, it's like Naufrago. So I don't know how you say it. Naufrago.
Okay. All right, cool. I'll check that out for sure.
It's supposed to be pronounced, but yeah, that's kind of what I had for mine. Probably a couple others in there, but that's worth mentioning. Definitely go check out Binary Star though. Water World 3, fucking fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, I had a lot of the similar ones. John Wayne Rap Album 2, definitely quality material. Had some Billy Woods, Known Unknowns. We talked about that a little bit. Milo, Who Told You to Think. Ginsu Dean, Wise Intelligent, Game of Death. And one that you mentioned earlier as well, Mood Crime Apple with, I believe it's Metrolata. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Conway the Machine with Goat. That was a pretty gritty album.
Yeah.
Yep. Of course, Insight and Demu, we talked about that. I left it off the list because it's 10 years old or whatever. But
yeah.
Open Mike Eagle, Brick Body Kid Still Daydream. That was a pretty interesting album. Quelle Chris, like you just mentioned. Uncommon NASA, which was at Tom's top of the list, which I couldn't believe. Other than that, Doppelgangers, Dop Hop, Static Selector with 8.
Oh, yeah, I actually forgot about Static Selector. And, I was going to mention Doppelgangers. That album took me a little bit to get into. It was the beats on it at first. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this? But, after repeat listens, I actually got into it. It was pretty good.
It's a fun listen after you get into it. Like you said, I had to give it a few tries as well. But
it did not grab me at first, man. I was like, oh, shit. But,
yeah. And last one is one that we reviewed and Moods had on his list is the Mayhem Loren and DJ Muggs, Gems from the Equinox. That was a good album as well. I enjoyed throughout the year.
So what do you guys think of the Madchild Evidence record this year?
It was all right. I don't know. I'm just getting kind of tired of Madchild, honestly. Like, he doesn't stick with me. Like, I like it when I first hear it, but then it doesn't stick with me. I'm just like, all right, I heard it. I'm good.
I think people are just kind of sick of the fact that, since he's been recovered, that's like all he talks about.
Yeah.
The content is getting a little bit old. It's been the last couple records. It's pretty much, the same content with different beats, but it's entertaining.
I was definitely more into Evidence's production than Madchild on that record.
Yeah.
It's always cool to hear Ev fucking do some, anything from Evidence, because especially as a producer, he's fucking crazy underrated as a producer, in my opinion. So working with Alchemist all those years, that's definitely where fucking he learned so much from Alchemist, that fucking growing up together, that he's his own talent plus fucking what he learned from Alchemist puts it together. He just makes amazing fucking underrated beats. That
speaking of those two, did you see that Rhymesayers put out a new song from them, like Step Brothers song?
Yeah.
I thought that was so. I wonder if they have an album coming on the way. I didn't hear anything about it, but I noticed that the other day.
Because Step Brothers is one of my favorites of the last few years, man.
It's just a good time, man. Just crazy rhymes, good beats,
good shit, man.
With the fucking velvety smooth cover. So good.
Yes,
I know, right? It's totally it totally makes sense to put it in that. I actually forgot about one, man. I forgot to mention the 7 Oddities record and BBC Darnie compilation that they did together. Basically, all the guys from 7 Oddity Records over BBC Darnie production. Did you guys check out this Clematity record? Good lord!
What kind of record was it?
It's like 7 Oddities Records. It's basically 7-8 guys from this record company, right?
Yeah.
And over BBC Darnie production. So it's like on that boom bap tip and shit like that. But it's pretty cool, man. It's like fucking actually really. It was in my top 10 for a long time. Really,
that European shit.
Yeah, dude.
I missed
really
I missed
good
all climaxes.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
Oh, it's definitely quality read from top to bottom. It's good shit, man. So that was another one. Did you guys
always something.
Oh, I know, man. He's always cutting up some really good shit, man. Did you guys check out the record Anti-Lily and Phonics?
Negative.
No.
Oh, that was. Nope. It's a really, really laid back, fucking good shit, man. That was another one that forgot to mention, but yeah, man. You know, a lot of quality records this year. You know. So,
yeah.
But speaking, honorable mentions. What were your guys' most disappointing albums this year?
Odyssey, The Iceberg.
Yeah, I was gonna say The Iceberg too, because that's really the only one I didn't hear a lot that really disappointed me. But Odyssey, The Iceberg was definitely one.
I think we're all in agreement on that one. All of us big Odyssey fans, but that album, man, what the fuck? You can't do both, man. Just do one or the other. What the fuck? I don't know.
It just didn't do it for me at all, man. I've seen this on quite a few people's top lists, but I don't know. It's just didn't do it for me at all.
No, it did nothing for me, man. I think my biggest disappointment of the year is Cool G Rap's album.
Yeah.
Cool G Rap is, like one of my favorite of all time, but I wasn't feeling Moss's beats, man. And I wanted more Cool G Rap. Every song is a feature. I felt like there was more featured verses on that record than Cool G Rap himself. And so I was disappointed with that. But the beats overall, though, man, I wasn't satisfied with Moss's beats. I mean, he's done some good projects. I mean, he's worked with lots of weird MC, like Eternia to like fucking Obi Trice and shit. Like, he's done weird projects, but I don't know, man. I don't think I was feeling it. The beats wise.
I didn't mind the beats that much, but the thing that I was really disappointed in was just all the features. It's like,
yeah.
I know.
I just want to hear more G Rap.
I know that kind of pissed me off a little bit. So, yeah, definitely my most disappointed record of the year. What about you, Tom? You said you didn't really have much.
Oh, yeah, I really didn't have a lot that I was looking forward to that I was disappointed by. One that I thought I was going to probably love more than I didn't really like it. I mean, it was still a decent album, but I thought I was going to love it a lot more. Was Brother Ali's record, All the Views, Full Life. For some reason, it just didn't. I don't know if I'm just like not loving him as much as I used to, or if it was just that record. But something about it just didn't. I don't know. Just didn't really hit me like his previous work did. So
it's definitely not Ant's best production either. I didn't think it was his best production, and the album. Like I said before, I've listened to the album a few times, and each time, like, he actually has the lyrics in there too. That album is crazy preachy. I think it's the content. I mean, I didn't, like I said, it's not Ant's best beats in the world, and I didn't mind the beats, like, they're okay. But I found the album to be, it's almost too preachy in a sense, and I can't relate to it at all because of what his beliefs are, and I'm just like, I just don't have those beliefs.
Exactly.
Right? So maybe I am falling out of Brother Ali's content. Like, I love his early stuff. It's not as preachy. It's it's a little bit. It's just the content is different.
Right.
But I think that's kind of what it came down for myself.
Yeah.
I've never really been. I think I mentioned this before, but I've never really liked his voice. So, but his production wise, because I think we were going to do a review on this album as well, but we never got around to the show.
We were actually, yeah.
But yeah, the production from Ant, I didn't really enjoy at all, really. So I didn't really like this album.
Yeah.
I
can see that.
Obvious. If you don't fucking like his voice, then there's nothing you either have. That was kind of really, really distinct voice that you're either gonna dig or you're gonna hate. So
yeah. Another one I was kind of disappointed in was the Joey Badass album, All American Badass. I just thought it just, it just kind of went off the rails for him there.
Me too, man. I wasn't feeling it at all.
Yeah,
and that's another one I saw in a bunch of top 10 lists and shit like that. I know one album that we did, well, I guess kind of makes it. I don't even know if he fully qualifies as 2017. I don't even know. But Ill Bill's Stepagram, that shit was like, to me, was like was a total fail, man.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Wannabe mixtape kind of thing. I still don't know what the fuck that was. Actually, one that I want to mention that I heard, I didn't even know this album was coming out, but Tanya Morgan, group from New York, they came out with an album this year called You Get What You Pay For, but it's stylized like
their last couple of records hasn't been the greatest, man.
Yeah, and this one was. Well, I kept hearing that it was like their best work since fucking whatever, and they're making a comeback. So I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And fucking like half the track, track sounded like they were trying to be fucking make some mainstream kind of pop records, and the rest were just like their regular stuff. But it just, I don't know, man. So it wasn't out for them. They just fucking haven't been doing it for whatever reason. They've been falling off. So nah, I wouldn't recommend this one. And then another one that I also forgot, I checked out and I didn't really love that much. I just have it in front of me, was Elemento and Twiz. Some producer called Twiz the Beat Pro, who I wasn't really familiar with. But Elemento I usually love his flows. He's got a really distinctive flow as well.
Yeah.
Elemento, West Coast MC from the Visionaries. And it was just okay. I mean, Elemento is, I guess, same thing. Is you kind of know what you're going to get.
Was it beat-wise? Was it beat-wise or was it him?
No, it wasn't even beat-wise. It was both of them. The beats were actually decent. It was just Elemento himself. He just kind of sounded like really uninspired and like,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
I didn't hear that one. I want to check it out now to see.
Yeah, it was called Cohorts. Twiz, Pro, and Elemento. I don't even know when it came out. I just know I checked it out the year and I didn't love it. So,
interesting.
I think that's all I had for that. Oh, another one that I actually forgot to mention earlier in the honorable mentions was Ivan Ave. Every Eye. I don't know if you guys know who Ivan Ave is, but he's got a younger kind of rapper producer. I'm not sure where he's from. He's somewhere from out of Europe as well. I want to say like Ireland or something, but he's usually pretty dope. And he came out with an album this year called Every Eye. And it was good. It was just a little bit, I don't know, a little bit like laid back, a little bit more too laid back maybe, because his stuff is kind of on that like cloud rap kind of, you know what I mean? That kind of style. So it's like smoking weed music, but this one was just like another one that, I don't know, just didn't hit me. It's like, I was like really looking forward to it because the other stuff was really good. It kind of sounded like a Stone's Throw kind of, great fucking 2000s beats from Madlib, but this one's fucking, I don't know. Like I said, that cloud rap stuff that I just wasn't feeling. So I don't smoke weed, so I couldn't really, I couldn't get with. But yeah, just a bit too laid back for me on that one. Other people probably love it, but didn't work for me because he has one of those voices that's like really already kind of like monotonous and like laid back. So it's gonna make you fucking fall asleep if you're not paying attention.
Yeah,
not sniffing some white lines, then you're gonna.
You're not hanging out on Cocaine Beach.
So from most disappointing albums of the year to the absolute worst album that you heard of the year. I know there was one that we reviewed that we could probably all agree on that was, I guess could fall into the disappointing category and also worst album of the year with Mir's Captain California. That album was fucking trash, but I think by far the worst album of the year that I heard was fucking Eminem's Revival.
Oh Jesus! I didn't even listen to it, man.
Dude,
I can't even honestly, I can't comment on it, but I know I would hate it at the same time.
I had to hear it because it's just it's an Eminem record. I had to listen to it, but my God, it is on some next level shit.
Well, I heard one song because I listen to the radio sometimes when I'm working as well, just for background music because I don't want to get too involved in it.
Yeah. And
I did hear that song he has with Ed Sheeran, or I think it's how you pronounce his name, Ed Sheeran. And man, it's just trash.
Oh, it's fucking everything about the album is bad. Like I'm talking, the content on it is it sucks. It sucks. The beats are fucking horrible on the record. The features suck dick, and Eminem's flow on it doesn't even seem inspired. It's shitty. It's not like
terrible.
I understand he's trying to change up, blah blah blah. Nothing on this record works at all. It's so fucking bad, man. Unbelievably bad. It's worse than Mir's record. At least there was a song or two on Mir's record that I actually liked. There is not one moment of clarity on this Eminem record. Like I'm just fucked up the whole time listening to it, going shaking my head.
Man,
it is.
I made
so
it through half, and I had to turn it off. It was so bad. I couldn't finish it.
No,
I couldn't finish it. It was so disappointing.
I don't blame you, man. Like my homie Matt came over. We were sitting here playing some vintage Nintendo. Listened to the record. We both put it on. He's like, "Well, okay, let's take a deep breath. We'll put it on." We both hadn't heard it yet, so we listened to it. We're just like looking at ourselves, going, "What the fuck?" Like actually, every song was.
Did you hear the remix he did? It was for Chloroseptic. I don't know what the original sounds like, but he did a remix of it.
No,
I haven't heard.
He was dissing Joe Budden because Budden said his album was garbage, basically. So he's kind of dissing him.
He was speaking the truth, so can't really.
I mean, that sounded kind of more like Eminem, like what we would expect. But yeah. I mean, 2 Chainz is on it. I mean, I'm sure you guys hate 2 Chainz, but he was all right on there. But I mean, it was an okay song. But it's probably 20 times better than anything on that album, from what I've heard.
I gotta check it out. I haven't checked it out yet. Yeah. Interesting.
Well,
yeah, I don't track name.
2 Chainz has his moments, man. Actually, oddly enough, on the new Static Selector record 8, the very first song, or I guess the first song on the record actually is 2 Chainz and Wiz Khalifa. 2 guys I'm not fans of, but the song actually is pretty damn good. It's
all right.
It's not bad, actually. I didn't mind the track, and I was like, wow. That's pretty interesting how a beat can really kind of bring out maybe the better half of you. I don't know. Yeah. It was okay though, but so yeah, dude. I
kind of wish I had listened to it just so I could bitch about it more. But yeah,
I was hoping that you guys had listened to it so we could talk. But there's really nothing to say. Like, it's just unbelievably shitty. The first song on the record with Beyonce is some next level fucking garbage. I've never heard. It might be the worst song I've ever heard.
Well, that's the thing, man. It's like, I honestly, when I read the track list, I saw the features, and it's kind of ignorant of me to do this, but I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to like this. I'm not going to waste my time listening to it. And at that point, I had already heard the trickling of complaints and saying it's trash, it's not Eminem. So I just gave up on it. I said, I'm not going to waste my time. Yeah,
you're not missing anything, so really not.
This has to be, I mean, from somebody as prolific as Eminem, and having Dre's name on here and Rick Rubin as executive producers, this has to be this is bottom of the barrel for those 3 names, man. Like, this has to be the worst release that all those guys have ever been involved in. And have all 3 names on it. Like, this is like Revival? Yeah, this album needs to be fucking revived from the dead. This shit is fucking done.
Oh, it's horrible.
This probably came about because he has to just have yes men around him, right? I mean, I understand how else this would have come out. Either he didn't have anyone else listen to this, he just made it and put it out, or he didn't make this, or he just has yes men around him all the time that just fucking don't give him any.
Honest to
God, Rick Rubin doesn't seem like the type of guy that would let something past him. But
this is the conversation that we had. We're listening to this record, and I said to my buddy, I was like, what the fuck is Dre and Rubin thinking here? How? Okay, put this in respect. I said to him, I was like, okay, so we waited for Detox for 15 years before Dre fucking officially, denounced the record. He's like, we're dropping, it's not coming out. How bad was Detox that he allows this shit to get through?
Yeah.
So you're saying this is worthy of being released? Dre's name is still on this shit, man. This is a fucking disgrace.
I wonder if Eminem thinks this is a good album.
He legitimately does.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, does he actually think this is good music, or did he just put this out just to put something out? Because I don't.
Well, that's the thing with all these pop stars on there. I mean, it's going to be popular, and Eminem has enough popularity on his own to sell records. But I mean, but Eminem is like, look at his favorite rappers, like the guys he talks about that he respects. It's like, how does he put an album like this out and enjoy it?
I hate the argument people are using for it, like, Eminem can't, he has to evolve and he can't be Slim Shady anymore. And I'm like, he hasn't been Slim Shady for a long time.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be this. He doesn't have to go for like a pop record. Like, fuck, man.
No, and that's the thing. This isn't even like, this is a total garbage pop record. Like,
it's not even a good pop record.
It seems so gimmicky. It seems so damn gimmicky too. Like, just all the bullshit that you expect to hear, man. All the Trump bash and just all the shit that happened in the fucking cipher. This is what you're getting with really trashy, shitty beats. I mean, fuck off. It's like the worst shit, man, ever. It's embarrassing. It's honestly fucking embarrassing. I feel sorry for Rubin and Dre, like, having their names on this shit. This is fucking bullshit.
But you wonder, how did this get out? Either it didn't go past any checks or fucking balances, or all he has is fucking yes men around him.
So you're telling me So you're telling me
Fair.
that Eminem has more credibility, more power than someone like Dre and Rick Rubin? That
Oh no, I'm
Dre-
telling you, that he went around their back and they didn't know, they didn't hear it, and fucking before it went out, or he somehow snuck it out. That's what I think happened. Honestly, I think that they weren't able to fucking listen to it before it was whatever went out to the final stages and fucking.
I just can't imagine not with Dre and Rick Rubin being such perfectionists in their crafts.
How
and
else
stuff, to
would
have
it have got out? How else would it?
It could be like a situation where like Dre's like a like an executive producer guy. He's like just sitting there. He doesn't give a shit about it. But I find it funny like he would have like Rick Rubin involved and him just be like, all right, yeah, this is good shit, man.
I know it's a fucking mystery to me, man. It's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. Like. And no, I understand, like, okay, some people don't want to hear Eminem doing the Slim Shady shit anymore. I get it, because he's been around for a long time. I mean, it's kind of immature to go back and start rapping about fucking popping mushrooms and, and sex with fat bitches. No, like, it makes sense.
Subject-wise, it doesn't matter. It's just like, why doesn't he just put out a goddamn rap album?
That's the thing. He can do this subject matter, but, like, why do you have to go so trashy with the music, though? And the features and shit. Like, it seems like he just lost all ability to have, like, quality. There's, like, no quality control with this record. There's no fucking way you can tell me that Eminem likes these beats and these feet. Like, what's to like? It's shit.
That's what I mean. It's like it doesn't add up, right? The whole thing just doesn't add up for me. It's like anytime if you ask Eminem who his favorite rappers are, they aren't anybody like Drake and shit that sounds like this. I don't think.
No.
It's
mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Jay, you should do us a favor. Go listen to the album.
Oh, Jesus.
Just give it a spin. Give it the 60 minutes or whatever the fuck it is. And
I'm not going to buy it. That's for goddamn sure.
I'm sure you can fight online. It's the worst $9.99 I ever spent in my life. I swear to God. Even buying a fucking Father MC album was worth more money than this shit.
Father MC.
Dude posed in fucking Playboy.
Oh, shit. Father MC.
Oh, my God. Like, it's... Oof. I mean, I've had people try to tell me it's not as bad as you're making it out to be. I'm like, yeah, it is. I mean, I like Eminem, man. I hate this fucking record. Yep. Cool G Rap's one of my favorite MCs of all time, and I put it on my most disappointed albums of the year. There's no biasm here. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm going to tell you if I like some, if I don't. It happens, man. It happens to all of us. I mean, some of our favorite artists have made some of the trashiest records, I'm sure. It's happened. Maybe not all of them. Gangstar never made anything shitty, but yeah, man, on that note, worst album of the year, man, has to go to Eminem, man. It's just without question, man. Without question.
Nope.
So, last question of the night before we get the fuck out of here. 2018, is there anything you guys are looking forward to? I mean, my biggest thing I was looking forward to in 2018 was obviously the new Evidence record that is dropping on Tuesday or Monday or Friday. Did it already drop? Yeah. I don't know. But anyways,
it came out on Friday, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday.
Officially came out. Okay. So that was my biggest thing I was looking for because you guys know me. I'm a huge Evidence freak. I love Evidence. Like Red Carpet is like one of my favorite tracks of like this millennium. I love that track. So what are you guys looking forward to this year? Anything you know if that's coming out?
Hopefully Marco Polo and Master Ace.
Yeah. I knew Jay would say that shit. And I'm hoping it drops this year too. I mean, by the sounds of it, it does. And you know what else I'm hoping that actually materializes because of all these rumors and all the tours and shit they've been on is Elda Sensei and Tame One with New Artifacts record. New Artifacts. They've been back touring, they've been together, and they've been recording. They've been on record saying this in interviews. So maybe 2018 is the year that we get a brand new Artifacts record. And to be honest, dude, I'm really excited for it because, I mean, Elda Sensei's done a lot of good shit over the years. I mean, he still picks those good beats, and I think they can put a really good record out. I really do. So, same with Tame One.
Interesting.
It's been good, so. But Artifacts, man.
Nice. Yeah, I really just had Evidence. I really don't know what else is coming out, to be honest. I haven't looked at, like, the upcoming releases, so I don't. What I would like to come out, I would actually, to be honest, I would like a another fucking part 2 to Perestroika. I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think my favorite album or artist, I'm sorry, this year, one of our favorites, Merv's coming out with another record next year. So I think it's in like March or February. That one I do know because I saw something about that before I came on here. I think
good old Merce.
I want to say Too Short is coming out with a record. Did you guys hear anything about that?
Yeah, the pimp tape. The pimp tape. Dude, that thing has been delayed almost like a year, but apparently it's actually coming out in a couple weeks. February. So.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Dude, it's Short Dog, man. Even though Short Dog put out one of the worst albums in my entire collection, and I have a big collection. Get Off the Stage. I can't get through 30 seconds of any song on that record. It is bona fide. It might even be worse than this fucking Revival record, man. And that's coming from one of my favorites of all time. I grew up listening to Short. I was listening to him, later in the late 80s, man. But dude, Get Off the Stage, worst shit fucking ever. It's so embarrassing, and that goes to prove my point. Sometimes your favorite MCs or artists put out the worst shit, and Too Short actually did that to me. It's fucking terrible. But I'm curious to hear it, though, man. The pimp tape, it's like, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Evidence, though, I know we were all anticipating Evidence, and that album is goddamn great.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Oh, wait. Actually, I do. Before I move on, I was wrong. OC is coming out with the second part of his Same Sun, Same Moon called Second Phase, which is coming out, I think, in February 16th. It's slated to come out. So,
couple weeks then.
Yeah, no, yeah. I actually meant to pre-order that from the DITC site. They had like a weird pre-order. You could do that and like the AGEP on vinyl together or some shit. Yeah, it was like really strange.
Bundle.
Yeah, it was like a bundle pack again. But they kind of raised their shipping up a little bit, so.
Goddamn shipping.
Goddamn, always.
But you know what? One thing I'm like, kind of on a side note here, it's throwback record, but man, I am so excited. One of my favorite albums of all time, Lords of the Underground, Here Come the Lords, is coming out. It's being reissued on vinyl, in a few days on green vinyl.
I honestly just bought that CD the other day.
Oh, really? Dude, it's
because I have it on cassette, but I never had it on a CD. But yeah, I just bought that like 2 weeks ago.
Well, it's funny, about 2 or 3 months ago, me and my homie were talking. I was like, dude, he's like, what are some albums you want to get reissued? I'm like, man, Lords of the Underground, bam, coming out February 2nd.
That's crazy.
I was like, fuck yeah, finally, because I don't think it's been pressed since it came out. Like, I think that was like the only pressing of it. So
yeah, probably so.
Yeah, so it's really tough to find. So, but yeah, I'm really excited about that. So, but I haven't really heard of a lot of projects that are, are more than 90% coming out in 2018. It seems like so many things you hear, it's just like, I don't know if they're coming out or not. And it's like that primo Pete Rock shit, man.
Yep.
or the fucking Nas and Primo record. That would be nice if that finally fucking came out.
That shit never coming out, man. Never coming out. Wait, and speaking of Nas, actually, I was actually thinking about this the other day. What the fuck's that guy doing?
I don't know.
He's been so dormant, man. I know he does shows here and there and still tours around and stuff, but he hasn't done any features. I mean, he did that song with who the fuck did he do the song with earlier this year?
Yeah, it was that one off. It was shit. Who's the producer? Jesus, who was it?
Dude, that is bugging me.
I'm drawing a blank.
I have no idea who you guys are talking about. Even he did a song earlier this year, or was it last year?
Yeah,
no, in 2017.
Oh, it was 2017.
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
He made the goddamn song with Run the Jewels too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! His name is just Unai. Obviously, he's a well-known producer, but I'm just drawing a blank right now. Oh fucking Christ!
It wasn't Cut Chemist. No, it wasn't Cut Chemist. It's
DJ Shadow.
Yes.
Yeah, DJ Shadow. Jesus Christ! But it's funny that both.
What the hell's wrong?
That's funny. Yeah, Systematic. The song is called Systematic with Nas. Yeah, with DJ Shadow. I kept thinking Cut Chemist. I'm like, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. But I actually think Cut Chemist has a new record coming out this year. I think that was in my mind. That's why I kept thinking Cut Chemist. I'm like, no, it's DJ Shadow. Yeah, Systematic, man. That song was fucking dope.
Yeah, that was a good track. But after that, I haven't heard anything from Nas.
No, he's been very, very dormant, man. Like, I mean, I understand. Like, I mean, he's considered to be very much an introvert, so he doesn't really do much out in the public eye and shit. But come on, man. He's just soaking up the cash right now. Let's hear some new Nas material. It's
making Hennessy commercials and shit, man. That's all I've seen him doing.
Fuck yeah, I know. I saw that shit too. He hasn't put out an album since 2012 was the last record that came out. So it's been
Jesus, has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been the better half of a decade, man. Like,
Holy
Jesus.
shit.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. So
It doesn't seem like that long.
it doesn't. It actually doesn't.
Well, he could just pull a fucking MF Doom and just have your old Drew put on a mask and just go fucking rap for him, and no one will fucking.
Oh man, that's some crazy shit right there.
Oh, by the way, fucking, I just want to say real quick shout out, since MF Doom was one of my favorite rappers of all time. Rest in peace to his son. His son passed away recently, unfortunately. So pretty sad. I think he's 13 or 14 years old. But
Did they ever reveal how his son passed away? Because I actually saw the post the day it happened from MF Doom, and I was like, whoa.
yeah, I don't remember. I want to say it was like natural causes somehow. I don't remember how it happened though. Off the top of my head.
Natural causes at 13 or 14 years old?
I think he had, yeah. Well, I think he had some kind of where the fuck did I read it? Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that he probably had something, but
yeah, he had something. I'm not sure what he had. I saw someone talking about it on a post. I don't know how fucking true it is. So I don't want to spread any fake news, but I think it was something to do with like a sickness or something. Well, I don't want to spread any fucking news. I'm not sure.
I get that.
I'll just leave it at that. So just rest in peace to his son. It was like right before Christmas, I think, too, which fucking sucks. So, he was 14 years old. That's all it says. Fucking.
Well, on that note, man, make sure you go out and support some MF Doom releases. I believe they have like the 7-inch collection of. I'm not sure which record they're putting out, but there's always Eminent. Oh, I think it's Operation Doomsday. That album gets re-released like every 6 months or something. So, but if you're into the 7-inch vinyl collection, they've got the reissue for Operation Doomsday that way.
That has to be one of the most re-released albums ever.
Like, dude, it has a new issue of vinyl, like different album cover, original album cover, like the chrome one, like. Every year, every fucking year, Doom just drops some new music.
I just went on Nas's Twitter, and he actually has a new video out. He posted, says, it was an honor working on the Hamilton mixtape. Official music video, Wrote My Way Out, is out now. Check it out.
Cool.
Apparently he has been doing a little bit of work.
Nice. Well, that's good to hear.
That was just posted on the 19th, so very recent.
Cool. Well, I think on that note, we should probably get the fuck out of here, I guess.
Yeah, we got fights to watch here. Come on.
I knew that's what was up. I knew
They come on like an hour and 20 minutes ago, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're in a crazy time zone right now. Jesus, what the fuck? What is it, fucking 6:20 right now?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's only 2:20 here, man. You know what? What's fucked up?
It's just the undercard, like the prelims, but I like to catch them all if possible.
My wife already took the kid to hockey. They started 5 minutes ago. I'm still sitting here recording.
Oh, shit.
Shit. So I gotta fucking
irresponsible.
I gotta bust out of here, put some clothes on, and get my ass to the rink. Good thing it's closed.
Piece of shit.
Terrible father.
I am fucking terrible. Shit. Well, it is my fault though, because we ended up starting later because I was fucking around this morning.
Yeah, we talked for like an hour before the show too. So
yeah, we did. Well, we're all at fault. So,
but yeah, man, that's gonna do it for episode 7 here on Disposable Arts, and hopefully we'll be back sooner than later. I know we say that all the time, but I don't know.
Yes.
I think we try to get these out a little more frequently. At least I want to.
No promises this time though. No promises.
No promises.
We'll try.
But
Definitely no promises, but I would love to do these more frequently than we have.
I think we should do something like maybe Evidence's record. Maybe try to get one out in a couple weeks after this or something.
Yeah.
Get Evidence's new album out there.
A more reasonable time than fucking 6 months or something like that. But we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Leave your thoughts and comments down below, however you're listening and shit. And we'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Later.
Peace.